Right. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, that's probably going. If you ain't clubbing, come on up in here. Get these lights up real quick. All right. All right. Let's say, okay. Okay. What the heck is that? See how this thing. I gotta start sending some of these invites out. These. All right. Enter. Okay. And then it's going. Ah, man, I looked at the wrong part of it. All right, whatever. Okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. That makes sense. I'm starting off slow tonight. We'll see how it goes. I got time today, so get on talking about these cultural problems that we have. We do it for the culture, right? What culture? What culture, though? I don't even think we even know our own what our own culture is, man. Okay, hold up. Turning my back up real quick. gotta find out how to get my background like that. I gotta figure it out. There's a few people in there. If y'all can hit them lights real quick, I'm about to start it up too. Soon. Soon. Somebody get some of these going too. Myself. Get a couple of taps in. See how this gonna go, man. What's the deal, Moni? I need me some money. That's not funny. I don't even mean it like that, but I mean it. I want it to rhyme with money. I wanted to rhyme with money. She said, me too. Give me enough money to get something started. Enough money for me to not own me a business or something. Enough money so I ain't gotta rely on an alarm clock. Make sure this thing is. Y'all got some people, man. Send them invites. See, see, boom, boom. Gotta make sure that's going. What's the deal, Mark? How you feeling, brother? It's the weekend, man. It's Friday, man. Today we talking about the cultural problems. These are cultural issues, man. And I think I want to know: do people really know what culture we really fighting for? I know we talk about it a lot, but we just don't know. I don't think we really know what we fighting for. People never make it specific though. Like there's so many different cultures out here. What type of culture we have, man? We say our culture, their culture, her culture, his culture. What's the culture? What comes behind it? See, I'm the type that always wanna. A lot of people like just speak on things like when we was little kids and stuff. We singing the songs, then don't know what the real meaning is. Never ask why. Just singing it, and then get older, be like, okay, that's what that means. I didn't know that. I was just saying it. It took me a long time to realize what the can't have your cake and eat it too. It took me a long time. I think I get it now finally after 30 something years. I understand what can't have your cake and eat it. I knew when they used it or how they used it, but I just really want to understand the meaning behind it. That's what it was. I think I finally figured it out though. Let me send some advice up. We got something new now. All my peoples ain't gonna have to live them lives. Come to a real G live. You know what I'm saying? I know he was just saying yesterday. They gonna get all the peoples up in here. See, he gonna come up in here. Get her, get him. Yeah, I Probably busy. Get my mind up in. My other mom been asleep for a while. She about to get unmodded real soon. She about to get unmodded real soon. Uh, I noticed. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. Got another 15 people to send it to. I'm gonna be making all types of noise. Alright, let me see. Let me send it to another group of 15. Uh, um, these two. See what they doing in these streets. Mm, uh, who else? That's gonna be it for now. Then I'm gonna do that few for now. Everybody probably in the club now, shaking booties and tap dancing. It is Friday. Out for a drink. I think I got everybody I need to get in here. I think that number 3 though. I do want to see that though. So I thought about this, man. Because only reason why I came up with this because I thought about it. I know people like I heard people use this term. Well, we got our own issues. Why we worried about uh, stuff on the outside, right? Or when you use the comparison, right, to other cultures compared to our culture, right? Then they'd be like, "Why you focus on that? That's different and all that." And that's the reason why I asked that question about why don't we look into what other cultures do that help them, because I believe we can learn from everything, you know what I'm saying? All of us might be different, but we can take different ways or different behaviors or different systems or learning because we built our own culture. I mean, that's all cultures, all that stuff is us social, it's a social construct. Majority of us, it take us all to come together and make it, whatever. We built it that way. That's what it is. So it's like we can make a new one. You know, we can make a new one. We can create, I guess, a new agenda behind it or a new whatever. Something that we all can, a system we can work all together with. So we be trying to say that we following our ancestors or whatever beliefs, culture, whatever, but then they came up with it from somewhere. So they not the only one. So why not make a new one or create something? I don't know. Something like that. We just don't look into it. Like we act like, and then we fight. I don't know. We fight for something that we really don't know about for real. We just make up something. I think we only go as far as, well, you look like me, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? We just need to unite. We don't know what we unite. What we united off of. We don't know the reasons behind it. We don't know the. I don't even think we truly know the intentions. I think we got our own intentions separately, and think we all on the same page. And I don't think most of us on the same page. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure this thing out. That's how I look at it. That's the reason why I was meaning about number 2 about it being corrupted. Like it's obvious that a lot of our mentalities have been shifted or from what's even been taught to us. That's crazy how we got taught about our own self. A lot of stuff has messed with us, and then we just, or a lot of us has changed us up or poisoned our mind or something, whatever we want to call it. That stuff has done it, but we rather. I think we get we get stuck because of our desires and pleasures and stuff, and the stuff we just get it fed to us off, off our just our wants and not looking at the bigger picture. That's probably why we in the predicament we in now. But we don't look past our desires and our and happiness. You know what I'm saying? It is so many different forms of happiness, and we only choose a couple, or the main one that I don't know. So it's too many different forms though. Nowadays, a blunt to make you happy, some punani, or I should say buns. Buns make you happy. Cigarette, all these things, all these temporary things. It's like if we relying on stuff like that to make us happy, where it costs us money, or if we take another person, like is that really true happiness? Oh, maybe if I go on a trip, I'll find my happiness. Maybe if I find me a partner, I find my happiness. It's going to take another person. Maybe when I become married, I'll be truly happy. Like, why do we talk like that? What's stopping you from your true happiness now, man? Is that your only form? And if that's the only thing you can look forward to in life for true happiness, then you done for. Because that's like you're gonna be living a miserable life until that happened. Then that's basically what you're telling yourself. And even if you find that, right, you're gonna be relying on that to keep up with your own internal happiness, which is just a feeling, though. It's a feeling and more just like love. Like none of that stuff is none of it's permanent. It's just something we choose to do, or action we choose to give, or a way I guess, a way we choose to feel about certain things. And even with that, it just comes with perspectives behind it. Comes with how we look at it, or I guess to say point of views, and you know, I guess choice. Like I said, it's still choice of how we what we want to choose. But we'll never be satisfied because with everything, even with food, right? Food, people, places, you get eventually either bored or tired of it because that's just in our human nature. Like it don't be as excited. I don't think we don't get the excitement out of things as in wishing or hoping to get to whatever we want. And once we get it, then eventually kind of slow down. Like the what's the word? The crave for it it slows down after that, and eventually it just get dull. Then we want something new. So that's just us being humans. It just be like that. It's nothing that feeling you can't get that forever happiness feeling. That's just a Disney fairy tale. Which messed up a lot of our heads. You can thank Disney for that. Yeah, that messed a lot of us up though. That's why I'm saying if we gotta find our happiness through other things, it's just it should be an internal thing. We shouldn't even basically base life off happiness. It shouldn't be like that, man. I think if we focus on that's the reason why I'm gonna keep on with that quote or that I don't know the title, whatever I made. What I say, I would rather live good than feel good because feels is so temporary. But at least in the midst of living good, you can still feel good in the process. You're not gonna always feel good all the time, but living good will get you to feeling good. But if you're feeling good, if you base your life off that means you're not gonna feel like it's gonna be an on and off like button. Like you basically, like I say, most of the time you're setting yourself up for misery. It's keyword misery, man. But I guess we gotta blame it on. Well, I can't say we don't know where to blame it at because we could say we blame our peoples, our parents, or something like that. But then your parents got to blame your parents, and they might as well blame the ancestors. So it just show that it is a root from somewhere. It's like we don't really know. Like the blaming can only go so far to where you gotta really take, like the name of this room, accountability with self, so you can change these habits and these ways that have been happening with so many other people. So that's what been happening in your gen. That's me. That's what I'm going back to, like with the culture, right? Or you could say heritage culture, or your what's that word? Your answer. You know, all that stuff. Like, who said that? Because I mean, your ancestors or all that was perfect because they survived or something like that. Because I'm pretty sure that I think I'm 100% sure that one can't say that, but I think the whole goal of life is to be better than our ancestors or do something different. Because one day we gonna be ancestors. You see what I'm saying? We gonna be that. So, might as well make a mark on the way out. And here all we and like at the end of the day, we can only just live our life. So I'll be hearing people like I gotta do this for my ancestors, because it's not gonna be proud of me and all this stuff. But you gotta make your own life, man. It's nothing they can hold you to, man. It's nothing they can. Because I don't know how to explain it, but at the end of the day, we only got our own life, and then it's just best to set or pave the way for the next, I guess. You can't because we can't say that certain people are gonna be disappointed or certain spirits will be disappointed in us because ain't like they was perfect. I don't think nobody on this earth has ever been perfect, except you want to go religious, but I don't know. But I think everything that we doing right now is meant to be, so we could say life itself is perfect. Not maybe not in a human way of how we look at it, but as in I think life is supposed to go the way it's going now. That's what I mean by perfect in that way. I do believe that, because like I said, I don't believe in mistakes. If people was meant to be on this earth for a certain amount of time, they gonna serve their time and go. That's just how it is. Because who's to say that who didn't have a purpose, or who didn't make an impact, or who didn't, you know, just because we put a clock on people, we the one make the judgment of, uh, well, they ain't had no purpose, they ain't doing, you know what I'm saying? We could say stuff like that because they didn't live long enough in our eyes, but who know what impact that somebody did on somebody? Because we could say we lived a long life and we didn't do anything with anybody. So we really can't really make that judgment. I do believe that everything in life has its purpose, though. No matter if it live a long time, it can go as long as the freaking a little bacteria or something, like whatever. All type of stuff in this life have purpose. It can be the tiniest atom, the little piece of wind that blew that threw you off your course that day. You know what I'm saying? It really ain't throw you off your course, but you just rubbing your eye that quick second, and there's a purpose behind it. To set it up for the next thing. It'd be the littlest things in life. That's why I showed, like, if it was really such thing as like a time machine or something like that. Like, if you shift one thing and it can make big changes. Just a simple cough or something. Like, that's just how it is. That's how you know everything meant. Like I said, we don't think stuff is affecting, like, we don't think certain things that don't matter to us affected, but what don't matter to us matter to something else. So that's just how it is. It might not matter to us. It matters to somebody else. That's how I look at it. So I know everything in this world has some type of purpose behind it. That's how I look at it. Even if we don't understand it. That's how it is. If we don't understand it, I don't mean it. Sometimes it ain't meant for us to understand it. That's what it is. Just because we don't understand it, that don't mean it ain't understood by something else. That's why I be like, I did talk to a few people. I was talking to a few of my friends. Like, he like, nah, some stuff just happened because it happened and all that stuff, or they just there or whatever. Like I said, I use the same old thing about that. I still don't know what roaches for. I don't know what rats is for. I still don't understand that. But just because I don't, that's what I'm getting to. This how deep it is. what's the deal? King Lion. I can't say your name, but what's the deal? I remember you though. I don't want to say your name wrong. You was looking through them dreads and stuff. I know. I remember you. You know what I'm saying? Miss Distracted. It's like that. So it's Kior. Okay, I got you. Nah, I got you. I got you. Oh man, how you feeling, man? Welcome to welcome. That's funny. Both of y'all in here. I think I met y'all both through my full win. Was she everybody friend, man? Everybody, everybody love Alter, man. Everybody love Alter. Uh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but I was getting to about the like I don't understand why roaches and rats and all that stuff. We might not get the purpose behind it. We might not know why that fly bit us. You know what I'm saying? But it's just all that stuff. It's a reason behind all that stuff. It's cool, bro. A lot of people have problems with my name. Oh man, yeah, I ain't want to butcher it. I was sticking with the king, so now I got you. Now let me try it one more time. Let me look up. I got to cheat again. Look and scroll up and see Kior. Okay, and put that in my brain. Okay, I think that song did a little song. I think it did. Hey, but I remember you was a little kid. You got to sing stuff to yourself so you can remember it. I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. That's what every day of waking up, man. That's how I look at it. I'm blessed, man. We got to smile every day. That's what I try to get people to do, man. Like life. People be thinking that stuff is a joke about the life. I can't. I guess we could say that life is too short though, but it's a good thing though. It's like long as you live in it, you got to live your best with it every day, man. Like a lot of stuff, like that's why I don't be trying to stress myself. I think the only thing stress me out be the video game sometimes. But even with even with that, it's just like I've been trying to focus on peace so much. It's like a lot of stuff just not worth stressing about. Even if we have bad times in our life, life is gonna hit though. But we just gotta find a way to, I guess, get back sane, get back focused on what we want to do to or need to do to progress in life. Because you don't never want to be in a standstill. 'Cause that's what a lot of us do. We stand still. We be stuck on the past for so dang on long and ain't do anything to improve our life or do anything. Like most of the time, we spend our life crying about whatever. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, people gonna realize that life gonna do what it's gonna do, no matter what. It's just gonna do what it's gonna do. We ain't got no control of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like people be getting up mad from the past or yesterday or whatever. Like tomorrow was supposed to be automatically granted. Like you literally, people don't understand. You literally can pass away in your sleep. That's just how it is. That's why it's literally a blessing. Like all this stuff, like a tree can fall in your house. Like you're not good anywhere. It's a blessing every day to wake up. It's a blessing to even take a drive to the store, and make it back home. Because that's a risk every time you go in that car. You can even ride a bike and get in an accident. It's people that's it's people that's unaliving every single day for us to sit here and cry about the pettiest stuff. You know, like I understand that things in our life is going to it's going to frustrate us sometimes. you know, Emotions is emotions. I was talking about that yesterday on the live and stuff. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, man. But it's just like it's our best to try to, you know, basically just live our life the best way we can. But all of us got our own definition of living our best life. I'm not talking about like the YOLO type life, because them the ones that be just, that's what they call that, live fast, unalive young. I'm not good on. I'm not good. I'm not worried about that. I still don't think you should be selfish with it either. At least shouldn't just live life itself all the time. At least try to do some type of contribution to the so-called culture. You see what I'm saying? Or the lives that we that we complain about, the community. We complain about it so much and ain't doing nothing about it. That's what I be laughing about that lately. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basically, like I said, what I'm realizing is just, man, we just life is too short to be sitting here holding grudges against people, and being mad, stressed out, um, worrying. You know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, we gonna go back to whatever it was before. Like we only got a certain amount of years. That's one thing we are promised is we all gonna be in that grave. So or cremated, whatever you want to be technical. We want to do that though. But I'm just saying, like we all gonna. So why not try to live the best of your days every day? That's why I'm always say that. People always ask that. I'm always gonna say is blessed. You know, I don't live with an entitlement mentality, which get a lot of us. You know, I started trying to switch over entitlement mentality to more of a grateful and appreciative mentality because I realized like that word deserve and the entitlement mentality it just don't always go the way we want it to go. That's just how it is. It just don't, and that's just reality. Like I think one day people gonna click in their mind. Good looks, good luck. What's the deal, Mister P? I think one day it's gonna click in their mind that we don't, no matter how hard we put in work, we spend 100 years on college or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All that whatever. Like life gonna do what it's gonna do. Uh, um, if you get something, you get you a degree, you get you that job that you wanted. It ain't even about the I put in this, I deserve that. This was supposed to happen. I earned this and all that. Just be appreciative you get it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you don't people. No matter how much work we put into something, it don't always happen the way we want it to all the time. If people ever notice, and when it don't work the way we stressed out the rest of our life. You know what I'm saying about it because it ain't work the same way. Good looks, Moni. How's your night going, man? It's good, man. I'm trying to start it on up, Start it on up. Yeah. It's Friday. I'm trying to be up. Hopefully I don't fall asleep when I'm up. I'm up for now at the moment. I know how my Fridays be sometimes lately when I get up, I'll be trying to stretch it out. But I'm up. I'm up with it, man. But yeah, like even with that, that's why I'm trying to I am trying to at least guide people's mentality be more. That's how you be more optimistic in life because it's all I believe it's like majority of us. Well, they actually said ain't a lot of us ain't, but most of us got a pessimistic mentality and stuff. We always think the worst. Of course, it's understandable because all of us have been hurt before, right? All of us have been disappointed. All of us have fears sometimes, so it makes sense though. But we got to change our mentality and start having more hope than them other things. Let that override sometimes. But yeah, I know it ain't easy though. But it's all about you got to work on yourself. And I understand a lot of people don't know how to work on themselves. They don't know what to do. But it's all about trying to hear other perspectives in life or other views in life, and besides just your own. That's one thing I noticed. It ain't always because you're gonna stress yourself out trying to figure everything out yourself. It is so many people out here. It's now technology has made it even easier. Not because if you don't have no family to count on, you can listen to audio books now. You can listen to motivational things. You can watch stuff on YouTube now. Like all this time that y'all be spending to looking at this toxic stuff, you could be looking at some positive or uplifted stuff. But y'all got it all twisted nowadays, man. Y'all, I need something uplifting, and yet you still up in the dang. Did you see what Susie did to? And that's all y'all be trapped into, and they'd be wondering why y'all living miserable lives. It'd be crazy to me. Like you wonder why you see these things, or you had this mentality you got now because you're not trying to adjust your mentality. Because I understand, yes, I know it's an addiction. I know I guess they call it like a dopamine, I might be saying it wrong though, but that's that effect or whatever. So you get something out of it. It's like watching an action movie and all that stuff. But then again, at the same time, it's still affecting your mental. Your mental is making you look at things from a negative perspective, you know, and that's the reason why people thinking the way they thinking now. That's why a lot of people don't have that hope like now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all about trying to change your stuff that you view in life. That's what it is. It's just them simple things that can really change the way you look at things or whatever. But That's what they be meaning. If you like want to be better, you got to do things. You got to do better. That's what it is. You got to do better. Like if you still doing the same thing you was doing, and that's what kind of woke me up in life. I'm like, dog, I can't be doing the same thing I was doing 10 years ago when I was a teenager. I was a kid. Like, I can't have these same. Oh, this would make me happy. That's why I was talking about earlier about this make me happy. This make me happy. Getting that make me happy. Mess with this. Make me happy and all that stuff. I have to change that up. Like, hey, this is some temporary stuff making me happy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, and I truly figured out that have this happiness that I really like. I done got addicted to peace now. That's how now that's now the thing is joy. That's what we look for. Now you find joy within those things. Even what happens, you find joy within it, and that's something you can just find inside. Just the simplest things where it don't even cost no money. I didn't want see like this is what my ego has went in because that's why I say it's a duality to ego, man. It's a good it's a negative way it can get used, a positive way to get used, or I can say a progressive way or a setback way. So with that, this how I do because I never wanted. I always was like competitive, right? I was competitive. Good looks on the fire. Always been a competitive person. So this what I do. I compete with myself instead of somebody else, right? So uh, what was I getting to with that? So basically, what I do now. It's like I never, and I realize, and I just, like I said, I always been a observant person. I look at other people's lives, like I always mentioned before. That I think one thing that always just stayed in my head was when my dad told me a while ago that I don't want to be a statistic, and it made me think about so many things as statistics. Uh, you could become a baby daddy, or you can be one of the car crashes, and all the stuff. Even though like it was all the negative stuff he was talking about, though. But then again, I still took that negative and looked at it as a learning situation, right? So I looked at it like, and I look at how many people like when I see them, everybody smoking, everybody, they do needing all this stuff, and I'm like, so I think ever since I was like I guess 20s and all that stuff. I just looked at it like, man, I shouldn't have to rely on no cigarette. I didn't want to. I was like, my ego was even so messed up. I didn't even like borrow money from people. You know what I'm saying? I just never wanted nothing over me. I always wanted to have full control of my own life. That's just how I've been. So that's how I use my ego in a positive way. So I never wanted anything to control me. I think it took one time when I was messing with one chick a long time ago, and this chick told me that, oh, you can't you just couldn't resist me. My ego was so bad when she said that. I stopped, I stopped hitting her up like I'm gonna show you. I said that's that competition stuff. I'm gonna show you that you think you got something on me. You think so? She said that I stopped hitting her up like I don't know who you think you is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I be meaning about my ego. It has to be like, nah, I'm was always that type to try to prove somebody wrong. Like, no, I'm gonna show you something, show you that. So that's how I use my ego in that way. So I told myself, I'm not about to be controlled by no cigarette. I'm not about to be controlled by another woman because she got this and that, whatever. I'm not gonna be the one that's controlled by uh somebody's money, a job, none of that stuff. I just never wanted to be controlled by none of that. So that's how I use it in that way. So I realized that it not with the happiness, right? Because a lot of people are controlled by, or they need to watch TV to be happy, or they need to, even though I didn't say the video game, but even I've been off that a little bit too. So it's like I had to find some stuff, and that's when I found it within myself. I'm like, so eventually I end up like I started loving peace because I realized that that's just a real. What's the deal, Marissa? Good evening. Let me see if I missed some comments though. Or two is up to society to get better. Oh, you just answer some of the questions fast. We need to be more positive energy. Yeah, most definitely, man. We do. And you know what's funny about that? I don't know. I done got off topic because I'm talking about so much stuff at one time. What's funny about that? Yeah, you missed somebody. Right, I know. It was all the also I end up going up. Let's see, one, the mindset. I feel individual must desire to be better. Okay. How's your night going, man? Let's go. It's nice. It's nice, man. I'm so chilling. But this it right here. Facts. We need more positive energy, and people be getting me though. That's why. Oh man, my foot. People be getting me with that though. They ask for that. I don't think people want it that bad though, because it takes a lot. I would say it take a lot when you don't know what to do for look to so called positive though, and that's why I be half listening to people, right? Because they be saying they want positive stuff, but then they don't never try to do anything to stay positive, or they make an excuse why they not positive. See, this is what I had to do when I made that change in my life and said that I want to be a positive person. I realized how many excuses I had to. That's why I call this room no excuses for a reason too, because I realized I had to put so many, and it was, I ain't gonna lie, it was hard, but I realized that things in life is habit, so I had to make a habit out of it. So I ain't gonna lie, life was hitting me, and there was a lot of thinking I had to do. But I said, if I want to focus on it, I need to stop making excuses why I can't become this so-called positive person, right? Because I want to focus on it, and I always looked at it like, what's the worst that can happen in life of becoming of trying to have positive or mentality or become a positive or treating people positive. You know what I'm saying? So, and I ain't gonna lie, it was hard. It was stuff, and I had to realize where that's where the accountability thing came at, right? Because I had to realize, like, dang. So, if I go to my job, I say good morning to somebody, they don't say good morning back. I know I'm gonna feel a certain way at first. So I had to adjust my mind. Like, you know what? I'm not saying good morning just for my own thing, because I look at it like I did my job. I made sure that somebody else is having a good morning. And if they having a bad day, that has nothing to do with me as long as I did my part. So I shouldn't let somebody else's mood change mine because they not feeling it today. So that's how I had to look at it. Like, you know what? If I say I'm gonna be this person, I gotta stick with it. I can't make no excuse why somebody else changed my energy up because they got a bad energy going. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to do sometimes, but it's like if you once you make a habit out of it, you start looking at things. And I had to look at it this way. Sometimes you got to use your own mind to fill in the blank for other people. Sometimes, like, all right, shoot, I don't know what this person going through, man. This person might have been got whipped up at the house and came to the job, and now they got a power trip effect or something like that, or they got whatever. So it's like, you know, I am the type, I'm not about to overstep it. Like if I see somebody don't want to be messed with, I'm not about to just, hey, I just want to say hi, good morning, just all in their face. Now that's from that point, it's just like you just trying to egg something on. But no, it ain't like that. If I don't see nobody want to get messed with, I just like, gonna let them breathe for a little bit. Then maybe try another time or whatever. But as long as I did my part, make sure another person is good, that's how I look at it. You know, that is doing too much. But but yeah, that's how. And it took me some time though, and I had to just look at it that no matter what, that accountability. And that's why I say that's like really, I think that's the cure to life for real. When people really understand what accountability is, and it's not just the saying of it. It's really trying to live it. Even sometimes you just gotta blame yourself when you feel like you're not to blame. That's just how it is, and it's all about how you look at it. As long as you can blame yourself, you can fix yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because if you gotta keep pointing the fingers, you can't. You can only point your fingers for so long. You can't change where your finger is pointing at. You can only change you. You know what I'm saying? I could talk about the TV went out, right? I could be mad at the TV like, oh, it burnt out. It's you. It's you. You know what I'm saying? I could say that all day, but what that gonna do? That ain't changing me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do is keep complaining about a TV that done burnt out a long time ago. But it burnt out. That's new. That's the TV. It's nothing I can do about it. I'm not the TV. So why am I keep on pointing my fingers for? For what? So I'd rather keep pointing the fingers at something that where I can, that's I can able to control in life. You know what I'm saying? And people gonna realize that yes, accountability is so big to me. Most definitely, man. And like I said, and it make you, like I said, change your mentality on a lot of things. Like I said, I was always that type that I don't want to be controlled by nothing but me. That's how I look at it. So I can't tell nobody you made me mad, you made me happy. I can understand some people can motivate you. That's lovely. Of course, all of us can use that, and it's just like motivate you. They can or help motivate you, right? Or same way they can help or drain your energy. I guess put it in that way. But it's just all about what you allow and how you just look at it's your perception of things, how you perceive it or how you want to you know, I guess I guess look at things. That's all it is most of the time. That's how even when I get it, if I get into it with people online or something like that, I really I really fight in my mind to look at it like, at the end of the day we different. I don't know what this person going through. Um And I can do the comparison thing, but I'm going through stuff too, but it ain't about that. It ain't all about that. But it's like you get to a point where you just you gotta become the bigger person. And that could be the biggest thing you could ever do. You know what I'm saying? You just let the person have it. Let them have it. Sure. Cause some people are really just going through it. They don't know how to escape, but they going to continue. Like, as long as they win that one battle in their life, that probably made them feel good for whatever. But as long as you put your ego to the side, that really don't matter. It just really don't matter because it's like, at the end of the day, they the one stressing out, and you already good. So you just got into it with them. I mean, I just got into it with them, so it is what it is. And then I got to let it go. That's why I just forgive people. I forgive them. I don't be trying to hold no grudges or nothing. Even like it's people on here that I look at, I feel like they faking all that stuff or whatever. Some stuff had to get exposed, but it is what it is. But it's just like, I still got grace for everybody that's like that. But it's like you got to come to a point in your life where you just can't be around certain situations that's putting you down when you know you're the bigger person. That's why I even have to sometimes. And like I said, it's gonna be days I'm a shift, or sometimes I can't live up to, or I have to remind myself with some of my own videos when I posting my own motivational videos I make or whatever. Sometimes I remind myself in it, and it helped me out. It's basically like it's a re-reminder or something like that. I just got to do that sometimes because it's gonna be days. Every day is a test. Every day, you're gonna get drained, but then you can always get better too at the same time. As long as you survive that day, you got another. You gotta, be thankful that you got another day to try it again. That's all it is. But let me see something real quick. Y'all was saying all type of stuff. Oops. I'm in the middle of separation because with accountability comes with change behavior, most definitely. And a lot of people don't want to change until they want to. But other people, I mean, most of the time, people rather, like I said, they rather put it on everybody else. So, like I said, if you, the only way you can become better is it gotta be, you can only do that with self. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect somebody else to help you change. It just don't work like that unless you want to or open yourself up to doing that. I mean, because there's gonna be a point in life, some people just gonna get tired. They gonna get tired and be like, um, they just gonna be tired and be like, all right, man, I gotta do what I gotta do. Some people get so tired that they just can't handle it and do the worst of the worst, or gotta drink it away and all that stuff. But I had to think of the most healthiest things when I had got tired. I'm like, let me just listen to some stuff. I need to listen to some uplifting stuff. I need to stop listening to this toxic stuff. I need to start, what I'm saying? I had to change some stuff up. Because we feeding our spirit, we feeding if people believe in that, feeding our mind with different things so we can adjust it. Because, like, it's good and it's bad. So you choose what you want to look at. I'm admitting ownership, accountability, or admitting it, ownership equals accountability. The way he said it with a question. Yo, Kev, I'm dropping gems in your comment, right? Said I stopped smoking and drinking. Okay, okay. Yeah, I kind of had yeah, I had slowed down. I actually stopped. Well, I probably drink wine every other. Well, I ain't doing it now because I've been dieting. But even though I did it at one time, and some stuff went down last. Well, I don't know if that was the cause, but that's a whole nother story. Um, but no, I never smoked before. I just ain't smoke because I ain't want my lips to get messed up. Because I seen how other people lips be black and all that stuff. I was good on that. I think that was what helped motivate me to not smoke. I think the closest to smoking was like a vape, if that counted. Do that count? I don't know. But I ain't never smoked. Drinking, I do drink, but I was never a heavy drinker either because I probably did it like occasionally or something like that. Or with socially, I had to do it. But now I don't do heavy liquors. I just never did. I stopped doing heavy liquors like 2 years ago. It served me no purpose because when I did make that change and I stopped going to bars and all that stuff because I think at that time I decided to be celibate, which is 3 years now. Decided that because I'm like, if I ain't looking for no buns, and most of the time if I'm drinking a heavy liquor, I'll be dang near trying to look for some. I'm like, it's no point, I drink something light. It was no point, even though I really just didn't need to drink for real. So I ain't ever drink. Well, I don't drink like I drink every out of the blue. If I do, probably get some Thanksgiving maybe. How's the celibacy going? It's move out. I mean, I don't be around nothing to even to test it. I guess. I think I have got tested a few times. It got sweaty though, because I'm just so used to. I can't say used to, but it's just a vibe when I'm around. It's a vibe, But that energy where you just used to being grown, I put it that way. And was it hard? It was hard, all right. So let me stop. No, I mean it's all about trying to make a habit of it. You got to really, with that, I had to focus on because I'm trying to set myself up for a wife, right? So it's like and that's another thing. What I was meaning by that I didn't want something controlling me. So I didn't. I want to be able to, set my boundaries, set my mind straight to really get to know a person that I'm dealing with because a lot of that's what be happening now. That's why a lot of guys be enabling chicks nowadays and all this because they getting ran by this feeling, right? Because they not looking past, the face, the features, the body. Like it got to a point now. If I see some chest showing, if I see somebody seem like they doing the most or something like that, I kind of get turned off. It's the opposite because it's like I got like a whole nother lens because I look at it like, man, you doing too much now. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm not trying to look at people look at women in a sexual way now because I want something more than just that. Because now I'm all I see that's what they got to offer nowadays. Now I'm like my lens is a whole different lens now, and I be seeing right straight through that, and seeing how silly they be sounding nowadays. Like what the freak? You be getting away with this all this year because you look good. But that head, when the other head is thinking, they can say anything. You know what I'm saying? They can say anything, and it'll go past because you just looking at the chest like, dang, I don't know. You just say A plus B equals 4. That's crazy, baby. You right about that. You're talking crazy. Swear you know what you talking about. You just getting mesmerized. Right? Life of a man. But yeah, that stuff don't work now. I be hearing everything. And it's like, when you're not trying to sleep with something, you give them the harsh truth now, nowadays. Said, what's that? I hope your night goes well. Maybe if you're on for a while, I'll see you again later. So, all right, for sure, Mr. P. Don't seek love. Instead, seek to put yourself in to be loved. Most definitely, I'm not doing all that. If it come, it come. But I won't miss on the opportunity. I'll try my best not to miss on an opportunity when I feel like it's the right time. Um, yeah, I ain't never said I was gonna be that focused, but lately I've been just so focused on myself just to keep bettering myself every day, so I can be ready. But yeah, I catch you, my brother. Yeah. Everybody's probably sleeping, partying right now. If it was during the week and where I gotta go to bed, everybody be in here. People usually don't come in here. It's about 8 or 9 in the morning, and I gotta go to bed. But I ain't gotta go to bed today, so I'm up. But yeah, man, I think that's the goal, man. But people be taking that, and that's the reason why I call that room that because I do feel like that's like the cure to people's what time is it here? Say it there. Yeah, I get you though. 7:54 here. 7:54. Think I'm what they call it? Central. Is it Central? Is it Eastern, Central, Central, and Western. I think I'm Western time. That's what it is. Wait, I'm Eastern. I'm Eastern. Yeah. Okay, let me not mix that stuff up. Western is like where Chicago and them is at. Wait, Yeah. Okay, all right. Have to think about it. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I be trying to focus on, man. For real. And it be funny. It's like, nah, and that's where the healing and stuff come from, man. It's like facing all the stuff that you have in your life and just try to look at it from a different lens. You got to get to a point where you comfortable, and that's what confidence comes to. Confidence and healing is almost kind of hand in hand, right? Not this fake confidence where you got to boost yourself. Well, I understand some people do it, but where you boost yourself, but if somebody challenges you on it, then you get mad. So the real confidence is where somebody try to challenge your confidence and you're still confident. You don't have to prove nothing to anybody from that point. You don't have to argue your confidence. You know what I'm saying? So that tell you how confident you are because you don't have to argue. You don't have to prove a point. Now that's another point in your life where you realize proving your point to who for what? For what? You know what I'm saying? People be trying to prove their point. I'm trying to prove I'm tough. I'm trying to prove if you put my name in your mouth, I'm gonna do this. I'm trying to prove that I'm the toughest. Let me try to prove that I'm gonna check you. Forget all that. What's the point, man? It's a bunch of nobodies on here to do what? What's the point to prove? I never get it. But once you get to that, that's the thing. Once we get there, though, and like I said, that's where the confidence come in. Once you get there, where you don't have to prove yourself to nobody but yourself. That's all that really matter. No wonder why y'all be live at 5 a.m. I'm on specific time. So it's 4:55. Oh my. Oh yeah, you okay. You all there. Wow. You 3 hours behind me. Oh my. Yep, I'm 3 hours ahead of you. So it's dark here already. You just about to get dark a little bit. You just about to see that sun go down. I've been seeing the sun go down. The sun is on his way. The moon is on his way to you soon. What time change is dark? It's close to about 5 or 6 now. Ever since that hour went back, 5 or 6 now. So you about to be dark soon. Real soon. I say in about an hour you be dark. Yep. But I think, like I said, and that's what I used to do every weekend and stuff on Saturdays. I might do it tomorrow. I just thought about I do need to do another grudges and forgiveness live again. Because that is one of our biggest things, our biggest problem in our culture, right? Culture or heritage and all that stuff. It's the lack of forgiveness and grace. And that's the reason why I be having forgiveness, even for people we feel that's evil and stuff, where I just got love for everybody. Because it's like I can understand a lot of situations, right? I think that is where the empathy and all that stuff come with, it's just like when you can put yourself in other people's shoes and realize like, dang, if I would have grew up over there, I probably would be like that too. You know what I'm saying? But we so quick to, I wouldn't be like that. But that you saying that now because the mentality you have now. That's the reason why you're saying it. That's the only reason why. But it's just like it's always, I think I think I feel like God always gave me that mentality of fairness since I was a kid. I always try to think in fairness rather than just myself. I remember even when I was getting brought up, I used to ask my mama like, man, how I get lucky and get this religion, or why other people this, and what happened to other people? I used to always be asking questions like that rather than just thinking for myself. I mean, and my mama probably can't tell you that too. I always been like that since I was a kid, like a fairness mentality and stuff. Like, what about them then? Why we always about us? On how we get lucky? You know what I'm saying? So that's why, recently I started looking at it like, or being more spiritual than religion, because I remember religion. I mean, I realized that religion is what's dividing most of us. So I just started looking at like, shoot, if I could look at fairness, I feel like our higher being probably look at it the same way. I think we just be trying to make our higher being seem evil and all that. Well, he's not going to give them a chance, but he gave you a chance, right? How do you know? He gave you a chance to change your life or whatever. We be quick to deem the next person. That's why I'm like, I don't look at my higher being that way, man. I think a lot of people be reading stuff different, wrong, and all that stuff or whatever. I feel like I said, all of us got our purposes on here. I don't know why some of us act like we angels and the next one ain't. Or we act like we angels and then demonize the other people that's not like us. And that's why I'm like that fairness, man. It's not fair. Because imagine if you was the other person, would you like somebody doing that to you? I understand a lot of us is lost. All of us, I still think we lost, man. 'Cause we all still we're trying to find a way, man. We going based off our experiences and all that, so I can understand that, right? I can understand that. But it's like we still trying to find. That's why I be always getting on people about, everybody swear that they know or they been here since the beginning of time. All we doing is all we doing is going off our. And I tell people a lot of times we going off our experiences and what has been taught to us. You know, everything can be corrupted. Everything, so it's like you only can go based off of what seems right. And that's even subjective because everybody's what seems right to them is different. But then again, you got to pay attention to your own life or how you're getting affected by it, which a lot of people choose not to. Now, if it's helping you in your life, is it making you healthier? If it's helping you, live a little longer or something like that, or whatever, is it helping the next person? And then maybe it's right. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I always had that fairness type mentality, man. That's why I never try to look down on nobody, even if they think different from me. I always try to live a humble type life, even if I feel like I'm smarter than somebody. I don't like that. I don't like that when people do that, when they think they get them a couple degrees or they get older and stuff, then they want to turn their nose down on the person that's beneath them. Or no, I ain't gonna say beneath them, but they act like they beneath. But a person that don't think like them, and put it that way. Because like, who said you the smartest person in this world? People be acting like that. Just be funny to me. That just be crazy to me, man. And I be feeling like it's sad because like let another person do that. And that's why I'm saying people don't let a person do that to them, man. Then they want to blow a gasket. Who you think you are? You get mad. Like, man, people really don't know what that word humble is no more, man. Because we just so prideful nowadays and ego driven. That's the thing. Once we gotta admit that we just don't know it all, man. We gotta we gotta we gotta give people chances, man, and try to hear people out, man. That's one thing I at least try to do. It's a lot of stuff. It's a it's a lot of stuff that it might be some stuff I ain't gonna lie, some stuff I'll be stubborn on, of course. I think all of us gonna have some because you gotta have something you gotta stand on. But I at least try to, of course we're gonna put a fight on, but it's not like I'm just so deep into everything to where that it can't, because I'm at least try to hear somebody else. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I just got to a point that sometimes I just have to agree to disagree with some things, of course. I'd rather do that than rather just no, you know what I'm saying? Some stuff I do, I ain't gonna lie, some stuff I do say no to, because I'm be like, dog. Because if I done seen it so many times or whatever, in my eyes, it's a big no. So I just gotta be like that. If I see if it's destructive to the community or something like that, I can't just be reasonable with that. I just can't do that. And I'll at least explain the reason why I think that way. I don't just say because it is, because it's so. Some people just be doing it. Like, dog, at least explain it. You sound like you not even secure or you not even confident in what you talking about because you can't give the real reasoning why you side with what you side with. That just it'd be funny. So some people just be swearing they standing on stuff, but they don't know what they truly standing on. They just say it because they learned it and that's all they know. So, but yeah, I don't. Like I said, I always be trying to think in fairness, man. I think that's the reason why. Like I said, And that's what a lot of us need to do. That's how we should do. That's how we would probably be able to come together a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like it even got this reason why I'm like this. Like I don't do that. The the different skin thing. Oh, you like this? So and labeling people because of this. I don't do that stuff because like I look at it this way. That's why I'm saying people just it's so dang on selfish. It's just crazy. Because I always ask people like, dog. Like I said, when I tell you with the empathy and putting yourself in other people's shoes, that junk is real. Like I be looking like, all right, the people we be downing. What if I was them, or what if I grew up and being them? You know what I'm saying? I could have been the opposite skin color. I could have been, across the seas. I could have been any of these people, right? Well, here go the service people. Well, you're not. You're not. You got to do. But it ain't about that. It's about that you could have been. You need to be thankful where you at and give grace to the others that is going. You know what I'm saying? Give grace to other people because, like I said, everybody mind work different. That's just what it is. And I be looking at life like every day, like people is like the wars that's going on across the seas. Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me, so I ain't worried about it. Like, but we could have been them. You see what I'm saying? We could have been them. I done seen. I know y'all seen this one tragedy. I think it was the year before last with this rock, and that was just some weird stuff. This rock fell on this boat. Out of all the spots, a rock fell on a boat in the middle of and unalived all them people. Like that junk crazy. It could have been any of them. Like you could have been them. That's why I be saying how precious life is, because it'd be the weirdest stuff that could just take you off the face of this earth. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's just some stuff just unexplainable. You could have been any of the people that was on the 9/11 thing. You know what I'm saying? You could have been one of them in there. You know, and that's what it's going to go. And then kind of circle back down to when the beginning of what I was talking about. Good looks, Jen. But beginning what I was talking about, that every day we wake up, we need to be thankful. We gotta at least try to wake up with a smile, because you didn't have to wake up with no smile. You could have just have your eyes closed for eternity. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best way to look at life for real, man. Try again the next day and try something better, man. Have hope. Have hope. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's how I look at it, man. We gotta have some type of hope, man. It's too much to have anger towards people. I even got to a point like, of course, it's sad that we try to help so many people and people don't want to listen to it. But I just got to look at it like, shoot, some people it's just it's. I mean, you can't save everybody. That's one, and it's a sad thing about that too. What's the deal, fam? What's the deal? You can't save everybody. That's just how it is, man. So, and that's the reason why and that's why I love being on this though, because it's like I had my time. I be having my times, and I learn more and more about myself and other people. And I realize that some of these arguments I go too far on, that I realize that it's like, okay, I'm talking to a brick wall. And what's the point of me having high blood pressure for a person that's not even really like listening to me? So I realize it's like, and that's why I changed my stuff up. Like I can only really reach out to the people that's in the middle ground. Because like I said, the people that's far left, I'm not about to keep going back and forth with nobody when there ain't no solution at the end. It's just no point. You see what I'm saying? So I said I'd rather talk to the people that's least trying or that wants help. You know what I'm saying? Or, that's even willing to even accept anything, or somebody that's trying to help me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the people I'm aiming towards. That's the people I'm aiming towards, because it's like it's no point. You know, I can talk about um uh home. I can't say that. Let me see. I'm trying to think of something. People that's I don't know. I could talk about so much stuff though. Like even like we be having I guess we got gender wars, and we got the racial wars and all this stuff. I don't know. We got all these wars. There's some new war every day. But it's like, what's the point of talking about it all day and it ain't no solution at the end? That's why I'm saying it's getting to a point, and that's that word I think that I made up. I swear I made it up, man. So I'm a patent it. It's the word I made up. We just trauma exchanging. That's what it's getting to. We just trauma exchange. So it's like All we doing is like, all right, let's just fight about something. Let's compete. And just to show how mad we are, how mad I am. Let me show you I'm mad, and my mad is madder than your mad. You know what I'm saying? Well, what is that? What is the prize we're going to get at the end of that? Because I never understand people. I just really don't understand. I guess I get to a certain extent when I was younger, right? When I was a teenager or whatever. When I was like that, yeah, of course the competitiveness, whatever. But it's like I got to a point to where it's like I'm gonna argue with you all day for what? When I start prioritizing my health and trying to stress less, I realize like, no, I'm not about to. What's the point? I'm not about to get anything out of this but a high blood pressure. That's it. Oh, cool. I just got me a high blood pressure trophy. What the freak? So it's like you got to realize like if we about to get into like fights, back and forth, and all this stuff, what is the end goal we gonna get out of that? That's what I'm getting to. We got to figure that out. So that's why I be like, when I'm going back, that's why I be quick. Like, even if when I have people on my live and stuff or whatever that come in the box and I see they're not trying to get anywhere, I will cut them off now. It's got to that point now because I'm starting to have a low tolerance. So if I see somebody coming here, okay, I don't agree with your stuff. Okay, tell me why. Tell me why. Okay. Well, I just don't agree with it. And you being like this, okay. All right, where you get into with this? What's the whole point? You can't. You come in the box. What do you have to add to what we're talking about right now? What's your perspective on it so I can learn what you're thinking in your brain right now? If you can't tell me none of that, I'm not about to waste my time on that. I'm not gonna waste my time on you just being mad because that's most of the time that's all we doing, or a lot of people is doing is I'm just letting you know I'm mad. I'm just letting you know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for that. All of us got our own things we dealing with in life. I'm not about to sit here and keep hearing your mouth all day. You're not even doing anything to check your own self. So I'm not here so you can just dump all your situation on me because you can't find no escape. And like I said, them the people that keep looking for validation through other people and stuff. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that because I'm not that. Me, myself, I know I ain't that type of live. Yeah, there's plenty of lives you can go on that y'all can yell each other's brains out and realize it's for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm so good now I can go to sleep at night. What the? Wow. Okay. I'm not about to do that. So that's why I said I have built myself a tolerance where if you're not going to add to what we talking about, if you're not trying to understand nothing, if you're not even trying to teach me something, right? I'm not about to talk. We're not about to do this back and forth all day. I'm just not about to do it. You know what I'm saying? Even when, if we do have a little debate, it's really just trying to give me, give me to either understand your perspective or me trying to, or you trying to understand mine because I'll be trying to I'll be like helping people, so I would say that that's what I try to do. I would share my cinnamon roll cluster, but okay, we come in here selfish like that. Okay, that's cool. I'll let you have that on that Friday. On this Friday, peace, blessings, my brother. What's the deal, my brother, man? Hey, but if y'all can, man, hit them shares real quick. I forgot I done drifted off so deep and stuff. Hit them shares for me real quick if y'all got some more people in here. We get the topic started soon, as soon as I get some more people in here, because I got some time. Get the topic started soon. I'm just right now, just getting my little session in, my little, my point of view and things. Tell a little bit about myself for people that don't know. Um, and I guess help people look at things from different perspectives and stuff, or whatever. Get people to hopefully enlighten some minds. I don't know if I just made that word. You play with your mind, yo. It's a bad habit to shake, but seeking too much allows people to play with your mind. Yeah, and I can feel you on that though. But like you say, you gotta allow it though. But yeah, I feel you though. But it's just the same way. It's like but it's all about trying to know yourself, right, and know your limits. Sometimes I don't think we can always truly know ourselves, because sometimes we can push ourselves so far to where we. But then again, you learn where your. I bet I keep hitting sin, but it's like knowing your limits, right? So that's like even with me sometimes. Like I'm big on them. That's same thing I teach in here or show or bring awareness to is about emotional intelligence, put your ego to the side, and accountability, right? So or me trying to, because like I said, I've been focusing on trying to be a motivator. That was like one of my main things I really came, or second thing I came on the app for, because I realized a lot of people need motivation in life to get somewhere. So I was just, I used to make motivational videos in the morning. Um, what I was getting to with that. Um, but what I was getting to, okay, so my thing, like I said, I'm big on that emotional control. So sometimes I will go in some rooms, right, where I on the same thought process as me. They just like basically an opposition of me. So I go in there just basically to really just test myself. And sometimes you got to put yourself through a test to see if you just all talk. You know what I'm saying? So if I tell myself that I know how to control my emotions, sometimes I got to put myself in an area and see if I can really control my emotions. So that's what I do every now and then. If it is a time where I just fall or I come short or um come short, drift off at, or even mess up. I learn from that. That's what I do. I realize, okay, that's why I'm weak at. I never got hit from this angle. So I would literally spend, and if I fail somewhere, as soon as I get off the app, I would spend, because everything I be listening to, I listen to stuff, debates, all that stuff. I just remember, I even listen to my videos when they replay, and I just take my time and think about it to understand, even if, because sometimes we can talk and get into a back and forth, and sometimes emotions will come, and you get deaf to what other people saying. Sometimes that's how it be, and then you ain't gonna realize what was being said until probably the next day if you take the time to really think about it. Or some people just don't care; they just be, nah. I don't care. I stand on what I stand on. But like I said, when I go through stuff like that, what I do is take that day. I just think, dang, all right, was I right? Was I wrong? What I missed out on? How could I have handled this better? Because like I said, when I'm big on trying to better myself every day, when I be telling myself better than my yesterday, I be really meaning it. I do want to learn something different every day. I do want to do something better every day. So that's just how I am. So it's like I don't do none of this stuff for no reason. Like all this stuff is really for myself and to help others in the process, because I can't. The thing is, if I'm not good, I can't help nobody else. I can't pour over what I don't have. You see what I'm saying? So that's why people be like, worry about yourself, worry about yourself. Oh, of course, I've been worried about myself so much that I'm about to help other people out. I'm gonna help other people out because I can't just always focus on myself. I gotta be able to pour over the little extra I have, so maybe I can help the next person, help somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So what's the deal, Bunny? What up, Mark? I see you up in the building, man. What's the deal, my brother?
What's good with you, fam?
What's up, man?
Because and that's a great point that you bring up, fam. Right? But a lot of people
Mm,
don't have that same. I think we was talking about it on your live. We were talking about empathy, sympathy, and
right.
apathy. These different types of things. Like a lot of people want to espouse them how they feel like they are supposed to be brought out. But
Mm,
you can't tell somebody how to take something. You know what I'm saying? But what your lives allow people to do is look into themselves. Like,
mm,
but what did you do? How did you take on to this? Why you sit
right.
up here and want to talk about how talk somebody else is, are you willing to do that same thing with yourself? And I
Right.
believe a lot of us will tear ourselves down before the world even get a chance to.
Ouch.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
that too. They don't want to hear
It's
that
it's
though.
worse than it's worse than pulling a band-aid off a bullet wound. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, a lot of us, we can see each other. You know, we grow up from the trenches, meaning elementary school, middle school. You already knew who was going to be who. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But then when people actually make that change and start doing a lot of things, you're like, dang, I never thought you would be doing that.
Right. You're acting different.
Yeah, like, oh, so you think you better than that? No, I just felt like I didn't want to go to jail. I felt like I wanted to
Thanks.
do something with my life. Like I wanted to have generational wealth. I wasn't just thinking about today. I gotta live for tomorrow. Why you want to go out here and you know what, make it rain? You know what I'm saying? You wanna throw a couple of bands out there but you still ain't even you ain't even got a mortgage. I don't know. Do you not have a mortgage? You ain't got no car note. No, do you got no car note? You borrowing somebody else's car. Not only is you borrowing somebody else's car, you ain't got no job.
Priorities.
But people will make it perceived to be like, oh, because I can get up here and show you some cubic zirconians and make you think that it came from Johnny Dane. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I
Hmm.
gotta hit Johnny Dane up for another chain. Bro, what is you, a dog? You ain't walked out here? Like, are we really being like you? People are really caring about the wrong. My bad. My mom. I apologize for monologuing, man.
Oh no, do your thing, man.
But it's just it's crazy how people say they want something, but what do you idolize? What do you actually put your energy into?
Right. That's
A
right. I'm
lot of
glad
people
you
don't
said
want to
that.
be honest with that. Do you see these lives? We sitting over here, we talking, ain't no arguments. It's just genuine conversation. But you go over to a live where it's people that you see every day and they arguing and they saying the same stuff they always say.
What the? Same stuff.
But it's just like that. I'm a little bit turned, so I don't want to go. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay within my character. Uh,
It's Friday, man. I feel you.
yeah, bro. But much love to y'all, man. Make sure y'all tap the screen, share the live, give Kev some love, cause Kev tried to be the medium, right? But we live in an era where we coming up on so much information. When you see somebody doing deliberately wrong, you be like, okay, well, I mean, that's their life. Live it how you want to. Like, no. When is
Right.
somebody gonna tell them they living wrong?
Facts. I feel
Like,
you on that.
like what are we doing? Like everybody's entitled to do what they want to and all this and that third. But do we know what everything is? Cause some people take everything to the extreme. Even Jeffrey Dahmer got fans. And I digress.
Oh my. Oh, he did it like that. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny how you mentioned that though, man. Because that's what I be want to get to. That's why I literally mentioned that earlier, man. That but the tolerance now, man. Because I think I came on here with the mentality of I just want to help everybody. You know, I was like that. Even though I know it wasn't realistic, but it's just eventually I noticed that, and it took. I think it took a few things, man. It took me to lose some people that I thought rock with me. It took me to that was maybe one of my biggest changes. Because when I first, like I said, when I first started this app, I was scared that I had to. I guess I wanted to watch my mouth a little bit because I was just connected with people, and I just, I didn't want to hurt feelings. I didn't want to lose friends because I knew people wasn't healed and all this stuff. But it's just like, even with me holding my tongue and all this stuff, I'm like, duh. It's like I feel so uncomfortable because I can't talk about what I want to talk about. So eventually, I still was losing friends in the process. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I just got to be me and speak on what I got to speak on. And if people stick around, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Because things got to get talked about. Like I know a lot of us like brushing stuff under the rug. We can't talk about it. You're not allowed. You can't do that. You know all this other stuff. Oh, I can't believe you just brought that up. No, why not? You know why not? What the freak? What's the reason why I shouldn't? You know what I'm saying? Because like it's like knowing something and not speaking on it and watching a person just like I think like you was saying earlier, like we just sit there and let somebody just let them live their life. You know, I'm done with that. I mean, everybody, it's people that's like that though. But if I want to, if I'm one of them people that's complaining about the community or something like that, or complaining about different lifestyles, and I'm not doing or saying anything about it, right? What's the point of complaining about it? You know what I'm saying? It's just that don't make sense to me. So why not at least try to help somebody be aware of it, and then at least you can, at least if somebody did still make the wrong decision or whatever, at least you could say you tried. That's all you could at least say. You know what I'm saying? Because trying is better than nothing at all. That's what I'm getting to. So, and people just so quick to they ain't got that willpower. They quick to give up. They quick to all that stuff, but they don't want to give up when it come to matching energy or giving. Or remember we talking about the smoke and all that. They don't want to give that up though. They want to prove themselves on that. But when it comes to stuff, when it come to helping people, right? They want to give up. Oh, let them do them. Let them do. You wasn't letting them do them when you was all in that person's face when they cut you off. You wasn't doing that. So it's like people just be funny to me. They funny to me. They get the wrong things, the wrong energy. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time, that ain't getting nothing at the end of it. I see you about to say, "Oh, go ahead, Mark. I know you got something." I started seeing you on mute. I know you got something for me, brother.
Oh no, no, I'm going straight with what you're talking about. A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't realize with great power comes great responsibility. They
Mm-hmm.
flew over a lot of people's head. And whenever we sit up here and be on these apps, and a lot of people, they will sit up here and coddle a lot of the misbehavior until it's done to
Man.
them. You know what I'm saying? And that be the issue.
Yeah.
But if
Good
you don't
look.
stand up for what's right, and see, this is where people be like, "Oh, well, that's subjective. That's subjective." No, objective is facts. Subjective is your opinion. That's something that can be fluctuated. And if you're good
Yeah.
enough, you can make your opinion bend towards a fact if you're basing your opinion on a fact. But a lot of people getting on here and they're not doing that. They're not doing their fact checking. They're not going to go do their research. So when you come into certain people, you can't just throw out a whole bunch of words and think that people are going to agree with it. And when you don't even recognize the words that you are defining.
Right. Man.
Right? Like, oh, emotional intelligence. The fact that me and you being sitting there, neither one of us interrupt each other. You got your point out. I got my point out. We able to understand each other. So, is there a lack of emotional intelligence here? But a lot of people would call this live sassy.
It's called objection.
No, it's beyond that now, Kev. It's beyond that because
Yeah.
at the same time that people want emotional intelligence, they don't want somebody who can say, hold on, wait a minute. What is the real problem here?
Mm-hmm.
They just want to go off. You know what? This is my problem, and this is what I want to feel. Okay, I just want you to listen to me. No, ma'am. No. No, sir. No. Why do you feel like this? Why are
Right.
you moving like this? You out here moving like a whole like you not even about that life. And that's how a lot of people moving on this app, bro.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. Angel. What the heck, dude? You got
Hello, how are you?
what's up? What's up, Angel? Welcome to the live.
How we good,
Thank
fam?
you.
Where you from? I
Um,
seen a lot of like I couldn't tell I was looking at your page. Oh, your intro. Where you from?
I'm from Kosovo.
Okay. All right. How you feeling, man? Welcome to the live.
Thank you. So are we talking about like all cultures in general?
Yes, all cultures, our own culture, everything that do with culture.
Do I believe that other cultures tear us down more than ourselves?
Mm,
I think that my culture is a very tight culture. So I don't see like our people tearing each other down
mm,
because we're very close.
mm,
What's the point of staying within the same cultural ways when it's already corrupted? I mean, like there's bad people no matter in what culture you're in my opinion anyways. But typically if somebody from my country is corrupted, we know because it's not a huge community. So it goes around really quickly and then we try to address it with the family members. Do I
mm.
agree with my culture? I mean, with some things, there's some things. I mean, like if you all know anything about the Albanian culture, sometimes they're a little, they're mobsters. I'm not gonna lie. So,
Dang. Good looks, Jen. It's Friday today, huh? Somebody got that paycheck. Good looks, Jen.
yes, you can say whatever you want, Miss Mark.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's Mark the Goat. The only reason that I ask the questions that I ask is because but a lot of people will grow up and they think that their environment makes them, not realizing that they make their environment.
Mm,
I think a lot of people, what a lot of people I think in the United States they lack is culture. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, I really don't. But not a lot of people in the United States really know what's outside of the United States. Like they don't want to put themselves into other cultures and understand and learn. It's more
mm,
like I'm stuck within my culture. And that's it. Like I don't want to expand my culture. And realistically, if you expand that Verizon, you tend to see a different light and a different like idea of how life is outside
So
of the
what
United States.
if,
I
but
wanted.
if what would you call it? My bad, Kev.
Good.
But what would you call that though? Someone who lives in an environment that they don't agree with. What would you call that?
Stuck in their ways?
Even though they don't agree with it, you wouldn't call that oppression.
What do you
Hold on,
mean?
wait, hold on. No, I'm not, I don't even want to take it to that direction. My bad, Kev. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Uh, so I like how you said that. So it's getting so I see. Okay, you. So really, when I was trying to focus on like the culture, or I would say the black culture, or whatever the culture, how we call it, or whatever, because I think it's different names, though, right? So I do want to talk about. I want to mix it all in, though. So with your culture, right? That's why I wanted to ask. With so it sounds like you kind of answer that too. It sound like you look into other cultures too. With the third question, it's because I say why don't we look in or observe or ask other cultures for help?
Yeah, I mean
So do
like
your culture do that?
I came to the United States,
Hmm.
so I had to learn the American culture. And
Right.
it's really divided here, I'm not gonna lie. I'm used to
Mm-hmm.
like the same culture, you know what I mean? And now, you know, coming from a different country into the United States, it's really divided here.
Hmm.
And then like being a foreigner or an outsider coming in, it's almost like a battle, like a tug of war. Like you don't know what side to choose because it's like, okay, if I go towards one side, I'm being wronged, but if I go to the other side, I'm also being wronged. So you're kind of like, do I just stay with my people and that's it? Like I can't expand my Verizon in the
Did
United
you have
States?
division in your culture?
Yes, I live through my culture because I like how my culture is. We're very passionate, loving people, but we also fight with everything that we have,
Mm,
if that makes any
okay.
sense.
Okay.
We're
So,
very
what's
aggressive
the
if we
pros
need
and
to be.
cons of your culture and the culture and or the I guess like the American culture? Then, what's the pros and cons you see from your observation? I'm gonna say.
Well, from where I'm from, like a lot of people, like I told you, we're a very tight community because we
Mm-hmm.
are not a big country. So, everybody knows everybody. Everybody cares about one another. Like, let's just say our next door neighbor was in need of something, like everybody would come together and help that family. Like we are very, um, passionate and we care about like our people, like we want to see everybody thrive the same. And
Mm-hmm.
here everybody's greedy. Not everybody. I'm not going to say everybody, okay? But a lot of people here, I feel like there's a lot of greed, and they want everything for themselves. Like I feel like if I couldn't go to my next door neighbor, knock on their door to ask for sugar like I could in my country.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark. I think you was about to say something. You there, Mark?
Mm, yeah, I'm here trying to find the right way in order to come at this situation. Can you hear me okay? I see it. So I got some bars.
Well, I see
Can
you
y'all
got
hear
two
me
bars.
okay?
Yeah,
Yes.
I hear you.
Yeah. Am I lagging?
No, you good.
Okay. So this is where a lot of times the cultural problems come into play,
Mm,
right? Because a lot of people believe the same things that you want for your family is the same things that everybody else wants for their family. But people come, especially if we're calling immigrants what immigrants are, right? If an immigrant is someone that just comes to America, which most of a lot of the people that's in America are immigrants. And they will be
mm,
proud to tell you, I'm from this place, I'm from that place, I'm from this place, I'm from that place. What group of people cannot say where they're from other than America, as far as they can trace back? So whenever we have these conversations, it seems kind of disingenuous, like, oh, my parents came over here and they was able to pull themselves up from the bootstraps. So if your parents came over here in a certain time frame, they would be considered as one of us, but they didn't have the same struggle as a lot of the people that were already here. So if we, some people are able to look at themselves as different than African American, Black, Negro, whatever you want to put it on, but that in itself makes me upset because the fact of the matter is we all being messed over.
mm,
And but the whole cultural difference, because I don't speak Haitian, French, Creole, because I don't like a. But at the end of the day, some people think I'm a hotep. I'm a bummer clock boy. I'm a rude boy. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things that people might think of me when you look at me, but I have no affiliation to any of these things other than just being me and wanting the best for people. I don't wish no harm on nobody except for the ones that wish harm on others.
Hmm. Well, going back to what Jen was saying down here, like even if we were to go to the store, let's just say, any store in my country, okay, like especially when it comes to food, because well, let me just give you that example. Like if you go to a store in my country, and of course everybody knows everybody, and they know, like if you were to go pick up your groceries and you go to check out, you tell them, that is still a thing in my country. Even we're in 2023. You tell them, I don't have money right now. like I don't have money. What they do is they write your name, they write how much your groceries were, and then they put it down whenever you can to pay for the produce or whatever you need to eat or survival stuff. Like that is still a thing in my country, but here it's like, it's really sad because when there's kids and there's families that really do need things, especially right now, like it's really hard in the United States, I think, for a lot of people. Um, you can't do that. You can't say, I gotta, can I give it to you later? You have to have it now, or else you would go without eating, or like you go to like a food supply place or something like that. But over there, it's always like that. And I know it probably sounds like, well, why the hell are you in America? Go back to your country. I know that sounds like that, but like I've made a living here in the United States. You know what I mean? Like this is now I consider it my home because I've been here since I was 9.
Yeah, but freedom ain't always free as the way people think it is. Where people will sit up here, and I strictly believe this, and you can quote me on it. There's a right and a wrong way to live this thing we call life. And whenever you give everybody the freedom to tell them you can do anything you want to do you not believe that most of the people who has committed the atrocities was because they believed in that? They felt like it was their duty to fulfill that prophecy because somebody else told them that. Like
People that
we
commit
don't
like
we
any
gotta
type of like
understand.
heinous crime, I
No,
feel
but
like
hold
are
on,
not
but hold on.
right.
Yeah, but we got some people get put in penitentiaries, prisons, but then we got some people who get put in mental health asylums, and you like we can't sit up here and try to distinguish which is which. Right is right and wrong is wrong. No matter what reason that you're doing it for, because that all falls up under emotions. But I think that would change the direction of the conversation. But at the end of the day, a lot of times when we sit up here having these conversations of cultural differences, a lot of people are doing things because that's what they have to do to survive, what they feel like they have to do to survive in a situation, as opposed to what actually causes survival.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have different views of survival, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, some people feel like, hey, get it where you live. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have the extravagant things. They had to go build a fire for their food. They had to go walk miles for their water. Like
That's
there's some people
exactly how it
who
was in my country, and it's still like that.
right. There are some people who will never understand that. Like you have to boil your bathwater. Some people are like, oh man, are you crazy right now? Like there are
I'm
some
not
people
gonna
who have
lie,
to go
I
walk
love
and
that
get
though.
their
Like I loved
bathwater
it.
to boil it. But
I
there are
love
some
that.
people here that don't understand that concept. And that's a thing where we're talking about people being culturally culturally cultivated to be like, you know what? Oh, it's them. It's not me. It, it's happening, but it's not happening. That's what's happening right now, especially in America. Oh, it's happening, but it's not happening to me. We're okay with it. Every day has been going on, but since October the 7th, bombs have been dropped on people.
I know, it's so sad.
It is sad, but it's life. And it's been happening not since just October 7th of 2023. This has been happening since the beginning of time. As far as humankind knows, we've always been at war. Why are we acting like this is something that's new?
But you know why? You know why there's war? Greed.
I
And
think
it's
Greed,
not the
everybody.
power.
people. It's not the people. It's not the civilians. It's the freaking government. It's the people that are in the higher up that do that. Because I came here as a refugee in 1999 because there was a war in my country and we were getting slaughtered and we were getting attacked. I saw people that were
What country you come from?
Kosovo.
If your mom me asking.
I came from Kosovo, And I mean, like I saw people, like unalived in front of me. There was people without heads, literally. Like you saw these things, like um and to go through something like that when you're a 9-year-old child and you don't really even understand the concept of being alive, let alone seeing people like that in front of your face, family
You don't
members.
recognize what trauma is, man. Like a lot of people don't recognize, and this is one thing that people don't realize, especially in our community, as far as the black community, especially in black African American in America community, there has been so much trauma that people just allow it to be okay. Oh, they'll be all right because I went through it. They need to go through it.
It's not okay though. It's not okay.
No, but it's a part of life. Everybody else in the world has experienced this.
Mhm.
Everybody. But we see it over here, especially it hasn't been televised as much as it really should be. But when we see stuff like Palestine that's going on, like damn man, we've been going through this for like the last 400 years here in America. Jim Crow just got done in 1940s, 50s, 60s.
But
Like
why? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's always that greedy person that is
Yeah,
like that has that upper hand that can control things and manipulate people to believing that their cause is right when it's not.
yeah,
yeah, that
because
power.
people want to. My bad, Kev. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say that. Yeah, it's that power. It always starts somewhere because, like, I think people even miss the fact that it was us against our own selves at one point. You know, it just took a couple people to get some power and stuff. That's why I said. That's why I know it's a human. It's a the war we really have is like a human or spiritual type war or whatever. Because it's like it can be any of us one of these days. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on the mentality behind it. Because everybody got that survival mentality, and it can and people's selfishness can get so. I mean, it just depends on the way they got. I can't say brought up, but it's just the mentality. Because all of us can be that one person that have the power or something like that. Even though the life is the way it is now, but I think at one point we might have had power, but it was over our own selves. You know what I'm saying? So we was even when we be talking about the slave stuff and all that, I think we slaved our own selves at one point just because all it takes is a couple people to be greedy or have power or, all that stuff.
Exactly,
Like, I,
bro.
I really see that it's like any human can do that. That's how I look at it. But
Listen,
I don't know. I
what you
think it
just
was,
spoke right there, bro. There's a difference between survival and greed, and we are at
yeah,
that tipping point right now. A lot of people will choose greed over survival.
yeah.
You will go and raid a farm you can't eat, but you go and steal 50,000 worth of grain, knowing you can't eat that much.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that's where. Never mind. Yes, ma'am. I love hearing your voice. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm totally like I get it. I get what you're saying because it's crazy how the world is has been corrupt for since the beginning of time. I feel like it's always been who is in charge and what can they
Hmm.
do to cause the chaos, and they make the little men do the crimes for their benefit. That is what's messed up, really, because they're like, I'm just gonna have these little puppets do what I want them to do, and they're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's all about. That's what I'm saying. It's all about that. That's why I say I feel like a lot of us like that. It's just we don't have the power like them too. Because I was even thinking about this too. Because that's why I say that's why I kind of changed my mentality on different things that um about being more appreciative instead of having this entitlement thing. Because a lot of us is spoiled and we don't see it. That's why I be looking at like I look at life like people be so angry and freaking jealous and envious and all this stuff, and I be looking at it like. Just like we was talking about that struggle stuff, right? Like we be swearing we struggling as people that be worse than us sometimes. And I be looking at people complaining and stuff, and I look at it like, how you complaining with a big stomach? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if
Mhm.
people gonna get what I mean by that, but it's just like you doing all this, and it's literally people that's starving, going through all this stuff, and you complain about the life you got now, and still talking about it's people that's higher than me. It's people that's higher than me. Well, it's people that's higher than probably didn't hire. It's like we will never know who the height of the height. I don't get what the goal is, what we trying to get out of it. Because it shows that all of us want some type of power to get to a certain extent. Because imagine if we did have power, or whoever was trying to look for power. You think that's going to end? It's going to be somebody else that's going to want power over that. It's going to be, or it's going to get to a point that one of us going to turn on one another because we want the power. Like we be saying this stuff, like that power, that is an addiction. I mean, it's all type of stuff. So that's when I was meaning back to what I was talking about before, that it can be one of us that can turn on one of us. You know what I'm saying? None of us, as a human, all of us is really, we're not good people. We just not. We bad people that's trying to be good. That's all it really be sometimes. We can say so easily how we wouldn't be this way. If I was like this, I wouldn't be that. You don't know because we don't know. We're not in other people's shoes that's thinking like this. We just don't know because we didn't grow up that way. Some people is like, that's why they got that one thing: the rich stay rich, the poor stay poor, whatever. Because that really is a mentality. Because some people just like they already used to living this life where they feel like they need more. That's just like when we was crying. Say we was we used to be crying about, I want a job that paid $10 an hour. That's when I had to realize I was catching myself on stuff like that. Even though it's just like we always gonna want better and stuff, but we never. My thing is, it's good to have better, but just still be grateful for what you get. But I want $10 10 hour a hour. I'm saying it right. $10. Okay,
Yes,
ten
yes,
dollar an
yes,
hour
yes.
job, and then you get that next minute. Okay, I'm bored. Okay, now I want a $15. You know, it's gonna keep going up and up. It's no different from that rich man, right? It's a person that get rich. They gonna want more, more, more. But then we looking at them like you greedy. You greedy. But what's the difference between us and them, right? Well, I guess we're gonna say, well, they struggling off the bit. But it's the thing is, like once that person got that power, they're gonna do like, because most of the time people make money off of the profits, or trying to sell the same thing and make it cost more and all that stuff, because that's just a biz. That's how it is. It's no different from probably if we was doing that and had owned something. If you can make more money by selling less, why wouldn't you? That's just it's just people that's just like that. People really get to a point where you become selfish. It's in a lot of us, and we be trying to act like that because we're not in other people's shoes that we wouldn't be that way. And I will highly disagree on that. I think a lot of us would be that way. We just saying it not because we're not in them shoes. You know what I'm saying? It gets to it, yes, and that greed is something serious. It'll creep up on you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like once you, because I be seeing, like, even if you look at this celebrity, they get one thing. I get a car. I need this. Now all of a sudden you need this car, but you just needed to eat at first. But now that you're rich, my bills is back on this Lamborghini. It be this craziest stuff now because our mentality starts shifting when we start making more money and all that. And that's
So
just
I'm
that's
gonna
just
tell you.
that's reality, man. We just don't see it though. Like we really know different from a lot of people that we be talking about that got the higher power and stuff. Cause we can literally be the same. That's how I look at things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like like I told you, when it comes to my country, it's a really poor country. Like
Yeah.
it's still poor. It's a pretty poor country. So growing up, like we had nothing. Literally, we had nothing. We had a huge family, and in my country, if you are a son, you live with your parents. So if you have seven sons, there's going to be seven men with their wives and their children living in one house. So
Hmm.
we fought for food, really. Like we would have like bread and salt to eat. But even though we had nothing, all we had was love, right?
Yeah.
Then we came to the United States. And that greed that you're talking about, that unappreciative mindset creeped in. And I realized, like, oh my gosh, all the things that we have and the food that we let expire because we buy all this food thinking that we're going to eat it. But yet it goes to waste. And then, like, you think, wow, I had nothing, but now I'm letting food expire.
Right. You see what I'm right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I be meaning about privileged people don't know they privilege and stuff. But people gonna understand it one day what I be meaning about that. Because a lot of us be crying about other people being privileged and don't see. But go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I see you guys.
No, I just want to make one thing. A lot of people think that is money is the root of all evil, but it's actually the love of money
Love for
that's the
money.
root,
Yep.
and that's the actual key. Where you will do anything. There are people like we see it especially on Tyler Perry, where people will sacrifice their family's well being for them just to get a fix, to do this and
Yeah.
that and the third, right? So it's not actually the money that brings power, it's the things that bring power to people.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are willing to feel like, oh, if I'm selling feet pics and I'm married, that's okay. But not realizing that you're still selling your soul. You're still selling yourself. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but she's just making sure that the bills are being paid. She's just doing
And to
this.
match your
She's just doing
lifestyle.
that. Not realizing that it's not the money that's a problem. It's what you're doing for the money.
Mm-hmm. And the
A lot of
mentality
women will get
behind
up
it.
here. Oh, if you had $1 million to slap your mama, what? Oh yeah, I'm gonna slap my mama and share it with her. Yeah, you gonna? Yeah, never mind. I digress with that.
Man.
But
I
there's a
already
lot
know.
of people.
I see what you get through though, for sure.
There's a
No,
lot
It's
of
I
like
people
get
that
that.
it.
sell themselves and sell their souls as far as what they want willing to do to get something that is not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can be a billionaire today and be on under a bridge tomorrow. We've
Facts.
seen it happen real time, 2023. So it's not money. It's not even really the power or influence. It's how you are. And a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
have grown up to realize that they told me that I can be anything that I want to be in life, but nobody ever told me that I can just be me.
Yeah.
And you know
A
that
lot of
that's
people
really
have
sad
not
because you
had that.
can't be you.
But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people haven't had nobody to tell them that it's okay to be you. You gotta
Until
have this. You gotta have this and the third. A lot of people, when most people are asked, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" How many of them do you think answered, "I just want to be me"?
I know, like
Okay, let me
let
throw a little monkey in the wrench though. I like how you said that though. I it kind of tied to earlier. I was mentioning before about just like I think we still look as people or humans, we are still looking for the truth, right? Because we only just or truth, or we looking for some type of purpose in situations. We think we find it, but we don't. I think every day we still trying to figure out something every day. So even with the you said be me, right? I think people daily we all still trying to, no matter what, we're trying to find ourselves. I mean that's it, because I don't even think being me or being I or whatever that is, we would never know who that is for real. Like real talk, we would never would, because as long as you either sometimes you change for the worse or you change for the better, but it's like it's no solid to say, is this really me or is this really me, or maybe in 10 years this really me or something like that. So it's like I think as life go, we still always finding more and more about ourselves and stuff. So I don't know if it's like a solid way to say you, because even you only became you because of the lifestyle you grew up in and got taught and lived and all that stuff. So like I don't think we will ever know who we truly are. We can know more about ourselves, but we just would never know who we truly are, because we could be a whole nother character about in 10 years and something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just we change. The more we gonna be on this face of the earth, the more we gonna change until we hit that grave, and then who was that?
I don't know why you make me want to cry, but you do. Because I mean that is literally so true. Like it's so true. Like I don't know why you made me emotional, but you did. I don't know why.
uh,
But I feel that like to my core, literally. I do. Exactly what you said. Like
yeah.
we change so much. And I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead, because I know you raised your hand.
Oh no, you good. I just like I always make sure we can able to have a dialogue. But a lot of times, a lot of people don't even know who they are because they want to build an ideology around what society think they should be, and that's where the problem
Oh, okay.
becomes
Oh,
in it. My bad, can y'all hear me?
I
Mm-hmm.
hear you. Yep.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people. It's not that they don't want to be themselves. They don't even know who they are. A lot of people are longing for a place of belonging.
I
That's why
know,
you
that's
have a
so
lot of
sad.
people, ma'am.
I said, I know that is so sad.
No, it's not sad because at the end of the day, we should all realize we cannot live this thing called life by ourselves. We weren't
Nope.
brought into this thing by ourselves. It took two people to have an interaction. But a lot of us be like, "Oh no, I'm good. I can do all this by myself." No, you can't.
Nope.
No,
No, you
life
can't.
itself was not meant to be lived alone. This is why incarceration, you know what the number one punishment is?
Loneliness,
Isolation.
isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't realize we need these interactions. We
Mm-hmm.
need these dialogues because we will never understand what somebody else is going through. But if you have somebody who came up from nothing and they've realized that all I got to do is do this, that, and the third just to get some type of recognition. A lot of people out here doing the things they're doing for recognition, not for
Mm-hmm.
power, not for fame, but they just want somebody to pay attention, which is the highest cost. And if you got, you will never be broke as long as you got sense. Let that resonate. You will never be broke as long as you have sense. Because
With you on
sense
that.
makes dollars, right? But so many people looking at the dollars, you ain't even got no sense no more.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you going off, we sit up here, we have these conversations, but a lot of people will sit up here and they go off their personal experiences, and even
Mm-hmm.
though it's valid, and then we get into the whole subjective and objective conversation, and we can dead that right now. Objective is facts. Subjective is your opinion, and it would subjectively help you if you would place your opinions on facts. That way, whenever you bring an argument up, you can stand 10 toes down on it and you stand on what you stand on. A lot of people can't do that. They'll be like, well, what I encountered was, but not realizing that, ma'am, you might have been brought up in a bad situation. You might have been brought up in some messed up situations. But that's where my family was. Yeah, you and your family messed up. All y'all got some emotional stabilities going on. But we getting money? Yeah. But how much did that cost your soul? How much did that cost you from doing what's right?
Yeah, I hate the fact that we have to like work our lives away here, and then like I feel like a lot of us escape to our phones because we're tired of reality, I feel like. So we're either on our phones or watching something on TV. But one thing that I regret, I feel like in the real world is the fact that I don't put my phone down and keep it down and see what's the most important thing, and that is my children. You know, like they're growing, and I feel like every time I look at them, they're getting bigger, and I feel like I've missed so much of their life because we're so consumed in this technology. And I feel like this
Mm-hmm.
technology is the root. You know, some people say money is the root to all evil, but like At the end of the day, I feel like that's what it is. It puts so like a huge mindset in people's minds. Like we scroll through TikTok and then we're like on a really bad live where people are just racially just degrading each other or some crazy stuff, and then you scroll to another one and people are praising God and singing a choir and it makes you feel good. But then like you keep scrolling and then you realize you've been on TikTok for like 10 hours and you've missed 10 hours that you could have been spending with people that are actually present in your life and that are good.
Yeah, I would say even that. Yeah, with that, well, I wouldn't say because I can't say that either though. But but I understand what you're getting to about that. But it's all about it's just management, right? But it's what you doing on there or what you spending. It's kind of what we had was talking about at the beginning, like what you spending your time mostly on or their energy on. Now, if you go on to some live or you spending technology or stuff on bettering your life, I can get that. But if you just sitting there, I guess entertainment or just what's that what's that word called? Where you what's that? I'm trying to think of the word where you
The
basically
clickbait,
relaxing or
clickbait,
huh?
clickbait.
Oh
A
no no
lot
no.
of people, a lot of people get on TikTok and they out here using this app for clickbait. Even though
Mm,
they might not have went through it, they know somebody else that
decompress.
went through it, and they be like, you know what? I want to emotionally or socially or culturally bond with somebody. And they don't realize the damage that they do when doing that because they only looking for the outsource of the values, right? A lot of people only looking at what can I get, but they don't see the
Sweet.
damage. They don't see the damage that comes on the outside of that. That's why anything I come up here and I say, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. You're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be able to come up and say something that I said in another live or something other that. No, I'm gonna keep that same energy right here, right now, anywhere I go. But a lot of people
Mm.
not willing to do that. A lot of people are sitting up here and they'll say one thing when they're on one platform, and if you're giving them coins, they'll keep going on with it. Don't care who it affects. They don't care
Right.
how much it degrades our community. As long as I got clicks, I'm good. And that's the age that we're living in. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the double standard. I'm gonna be me. I know the people that rock with me because I am original, authentic. A lot of people out here doing stuff because of money. You selling your soul for a couple galaxies? Relax.
Yeah.
What does that equal to $2?
I thought about it. The word I was trying to use earlier was decompress. That's what I say. Some people use things to decompress or something like that from just reality and
Yes, that
stuff.
is
But it's
why
just all
I am
about, like I
on
said, it's
here.
the management. It's all about management. 'Cause I think everything for a reason. I don't think like we spent our time. It's just like the fact that you were aware of where your time is mostly being spent. It's just something for you to fix. And bruh, what's the deal? But yeah. So yeah, that's all it is, man. It's just and what you spend your energy on. That's all it is. If you and this ain't bad. And I say if you was spending your time on a motivational thing and listening to that 8 hours or something like that, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you spending 8 hours on toxic stuff or whatever, like what the heck, I don't know if to say it's a waste, but you could say it's something you learn from or something that you uh gotta. I guess I don't know. Something you
Yeah,
should learn from to stay away from too. But people get addicted to that.
people. I don't think people properly diet their senses. They don't
Right.
properly diet their senses. Like we talk about our food diet all the time, right? But we don't
Right.
properly diet our senses. It's important to fast all of your senses every now and again. Like recently, me and my wife, we did a fast of our mouth. You couldn't talk for sun up to sundown, right? And what it did was it brought the acknowledgement of how important our voices was to one another. It brought the acknowledgement of us sometimes not recognizing the power of each other's voices. It brought to the acknowledgement the how undefinitive and how wasteful we are with our tongues. It brought to the acknowledge of how selective and how senseless or lack of consciousness when we speak. How we're not oftentimes present, and how many useless words come out of our mouth. Each of us brought that. It brought a different perspective from each of us. I mean, I fasted. I personally take moments, especially when it comes to my family, my kids especially. I make my kids put their devices down and do regular stuff like board games. I make my wife put the phone down when we're watching a movie. You cannot be on the phone while we're watching a movie. I request these things. I'm not going to say make. With my kids, I make. With my wife, I request. And, I think it's important. Fasting, in the simplest way to describe it, is slowing down everything else. Because if you're moving fast and everything else is moving slow, and finally you're able to see just how much you're missing. That's kind of the best way to think about that, right? When you're moving so fast and then suddenly everything else is moving slow, you get to see what you've been missing, i.e. your kids, i.e. your education, i.e. where you're not improving, i.e. your diet, i.e. whatever else, the content of whatever you're ingesting through all of your senses, your eye gates, your ear gates, what's coming out of your mouth and what you allow to go in your mouth if you're eating or other things, but you get to see your life in a different way when you fast. I suggest that for everyone. And fasting is about a particular principle you want to increase, whether it be your discipline, whether it be your acknowledgement, whatever it is that you're trying to do that is important to you. And the answer in most cases will be right in that adjective that you use as soon as someone says, what do you need to do more of? Right? In reality, what we think we need to do more of, we're not actually doing. There's a difference from dedication and, doing. Like sometimes we just do stuff, but we're not dedicated. There's a really big difference, right? So a lot of times the adjectives we use will tell us exactly where we are in our life and how little integrity we have with our words and our actions, what we say we are and what we actually do. How we say we want to live and how much we practice that. If you are, like my dad used to say to me, you are your majority, son. You are your majority. And it took me a while to get that. I was well in my 20s before I figured out what the hell he was talking about. But we are the sum of what we do. Your life is the sum of the decision you've made. Even sometimes the things that you did not acknowledge or you did not do or you ignored, you will still be the sum of all of those things. And your relationships are the sum of what you put, just everything. So I'm done with that idea. But yeah, I put some things in the comments and I said, people like I had some really conscious people around me that used to make me read words in different ways. Like the word hormone, for example. I began to see that as two words instead of one. Hormones, you know what I'm saying? And that's what whores normally do, right? And then I began to see words like television as three words. Tell lies to your vision. And I began to see words like technology as two words or three words. Take in knowledge from G. G meaning the ultimate source or the autonomous source, because G moves on its own, not by force of anybody else. So it's like, I don't know. It was just the way that I began to look at the world and see how it is and see the way that, just look at it outside of the box a little bit. So there's some notes for some people.
Yeah. What up, y'all?
What's the deal, Bam?
What's the word, man? Hashtag. I definitely agree with you, fam. That kind of aligns with a theory that I use or practice is that anything that you have in a great deal of abundance, if you're not careful, you will lose appreciation for it, right? So a person with $1 million does not appreciate a dollar the same way as somebody down to their last. All right. So if you if you got $1 million, a dollar don't mean nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But I feel like when it comes to, like, for instance, we were talking about like the uses of TikTok. I feel like you have to also factor in perspective, right? If you get on here and you just spit a lot of bullshit, right? Every time you get on here, you just randomly speaking, and you have no intention behind your words, you're more than likely going to not appreciate communication. But if you get on here and you use it to hone and discipline yourself, to be intentional every time you speak because people are listening to you and you could be teaching someone from the next generation, then it becomes something different. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all about the perspective and understanding how you're using the tool as the tool. For me, I don't know about anybody else. So, and going back to what you were talking about, Kev, it's like I agree with you too. I feel like the majority of people, I'm not saying everybody, the majority of people come on here and they just babble. You know what I'm saying? So like they're not spending that time honing anything or disciplining themselves at all. So you'll see it show up, like hashtag said, in their everyday life, to where now every time they're talking to somebody, they're just talking. They don't value the communication, because the thing about appreciation, what you appreciate, you will prioritize. Right? So if you don't appreciate something, you're not gonna prioritize that shit.
Right.
You feel me? So if you're not conscious of that shit, a lot of things, and it's not just TikTok, it's everyday things that we just take for granted. You know what I mean? Like, people tend to take things for granted because they have abundance to it. It's not until you, I know a lot of y'all probably heard, you don't know what you got till it's gone. That's
Facts.
really what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you took it for granted because you had an abundance to it, you had access to it, and when that access started slipping away, now you like, oh shit. Now I need to pay attention to this thing. Sometimes though, and not all times, but sometimes that shit is too late. So I feel like people definitely need to be more conscious of how they're spending their time. They need to be more conscious of the value you're getting from the time you spend, even with people. You know what I'm saying? The people around you ain't gonna be here forever. You don't want to be that person that loses something or loses someone. You like, dang, I wish I had more time. Well, you had all the time in the
Mm-hmm.
world while it was here. You just didn't value it, so you didn't prioritize it.
I mean, Bam hit on something that was real right there, because I promise, like, when I first got in the trucking game, one of the first things that happened to me was I gained weight, right? And I was like, damn, why am I gaining weight? And then I made the excuse right away. My default was to say I didn't have enough time. And then all of a sudden, what I realized was that I did have enough time. I just wasn't using my time correctly. Because I
Facts.
realized something that one time a trainer had mentioned, like a trainer had mentioned something to me. And he said, in between stops, you have like sometimes, 5, 15, 20 minutes between stops, right? And I was like, damn, he's right. And then I was like, hold on. I timed one day how long it would take me to do 100 jumping jacks, right? And when I timed it, it only took me 200 seconds to do 100 jumping jacks, right? And I said, damn, I don't even have to do them all at once. I can do them 25 at a time. It'll still take me the same amount of time. So I said, if it only takes me 200 seconds to do 100 jumping jacks in a day, or maybe a little bit more, like maybe 210, 205, 100, that many seconds, then there's no excuse to not do 100 jumping jacks every damn day. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and then right away I started doing jumping jacks. In about a month and a half, my ass was like 10 pounds, 15 pounds lighter, just because I did 100 jumping jacks in 200 seconds every day. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, bro. That's the danger though, in like unconsciously letting that appreciation slip away. You'll start lying to yourself, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
when we talking about like losing a person, you'll start lying to yourself and procrastinating. Oh, I'll see them tomorrow. Oh, I'll go see them next week. Or even like you said, when you talking about dieting, oh, I'll start this next week. And before you know it, it's been a year. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're not conscious of the time that you have now, because time should be precious to you, communication with your loved ones should be precious to you, that shit will be gone in a blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm. Okay, y'all preaching. Y'all about to make me do a session, but I had my session. I'm listening now. What's up, Eric? Welcome to the live, my brother.
Hey, how's it going, brother? Yeah, I was just answering your questions you have up there.
Okay, what you got?
Yeah, when it says that, do you believe other cultures tear us down more than ourselves? When it pertains to my culture, the black culture, what I'll say, we do it ourselves more than anybody else.
Mm.
Yeah, because we're quick to tear each other down. It shows in our communities the way we treat each other. We don't. I know where I'm from. I'm from Baltimore City, so we don't even speak to each other in passing. We don't even know our
Dang.
neighbors, the people across the street. It's everybody for themselves, unless you build maybe a personal relationship with someone in the neighborhood. But in most of the killings, we kill each other in our community.
Unalive? Yes, unalive.
Well, oh, so I'm sorry, unalive. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting
You good,
on
brother.
TikTok. Yeah, and the next question, can you clear make that a little bit more clear for me with the second question?
Hey, yo, hey,
What's the point?
I'm not trying to cut y'all off, Eric. I just realized who you were. You was just in the last live that I was in, bro. You spoke beautifully. They should have got what you and understood what you said. They didn't because they
No,
didn't want to.
no, they can't see that. See, that's the thing, man. That's why I learned years ago from me studying, getting into psychology, just personally on my own. Um, that it's over a 30-year study that women show aggression through gossip, innuendo, and reputation destruction. So when it comes to verbal and manipulation, they're going to form together naturally because they think that we're their oppressors. So no matter what goes on, we're going to be looked at as the enemy. So I already knew to you talk um with some good sense also, and was trying to agree and coming in a peaceful manner like I. But as you can see, when that one woman kept talking bad about men, it was two women that kept talking bad about men. You notice none of the women tell them do not do that. It was open season to say whatever they want about men in an aggressive way because it's their platform. So I gracefully I bowed out. I said, let me go somewhere else because I don't argue with women. But in reference to the second part, I'm sorry, host. You were saying that it says what the point of staying with the same, with the same culture ways when it's already corrupt. What do you mean by that? That's what a
What's
host.
the point? Basically saying with the same ways of um I guess how can I explain it?
Like how does
Basically
what
the ways of the culture, right? Because I don't know, like we make, and I'm trying to see, because I don't even think people really know what they talking about even with that. We claim cultures in different ways, but we not even realize what we follow most of the time, and we don't even really know what the thing. But whatever. But
I thought you were talking about in reference to our. I can use this for example. Me looking at the roles on how I thought a man and woman role was to be. I was raised traditional by my grandmother, right?
hmm
And I was
okay.
married to my high school sweetheart. But when I got divorced at 32, when I came out in the dating world, I noticed that there were more women that were openly promiscuous. So when I went out
Mm,
on dates, I didn't have to court them anymore. They started
mm,
asking me, was I did I live an alternative lifestyle? I'm trying to find the right words to say for TikTok. Did I live an alternative lifestyle because I wasn't aggressive towards them? And I told them I was taught to treat women like a lady. Of course, I desire those things, but you just treat women with respect. I noticed that there was a change in women.
Oh,
So
I was
right
asking you, was
now,
you on the other
right
side?
now it's corrupt. To me, right now it's corrupt.
that's what
The
I
way
mean about it.
the way
Mm.
men and women are now, it's corrupt. So you saying why stick with our culture and go to another culture or try to change up the way
Mm-mm,
you move within
mm-mm.
your culture?
The thing is, okay, I'm gonna explain. Okay, for what I notice about culture, right? That's why I find it so funny because everybody talk about the culture, culture, and all that stuff, but cause culture is a that's a what they call it, a some constructive. I mean, dang, what is it called? Some uh what the freak is the word? It's a construct when it's constructed by humans, right? I can't think of the word right now, but basically
Social
humans came
construct.
up
A
with it.
social construct.
Thank you. What the that was about to thank you. a social construct, right? So the fact is, we can make a new culture, right? But we keep trying to live up with stuff because I believe even with our ancestors and all the other stuff that we for what we believe or what we got taught, right? It was even it was what's the it was like basically it was wrongs and nos. Like the thing is, we supposed to learn from our past so we don't make the same mistake as our past, or we learn just like from our own personal past. We supposed to, if we mess up, it's like a trial and error thing, right? I don't believe there's no such thing as no perfect culture, heritage, whatever we want to call it, right? I don't believe none of that stuff is perfect though, but we always keep following the same things where we failed that didn't work at one time, but and then like we don't try to follow the things that did work, so we just like we try to mix it and then call it, oh, this is the culture or something like that. But what is really the culture if we want to say that though? So my thing is like if it's corruption in it, right? Why do we stay with the same thing when knowing that it ain't working for us and not try to
Hold up.
build something new?
Hold up.
That's what I'm getting
Biggs,
to.
can you mute real quick, bro? I can't hear very well.
I think that's
His
hash.
background. Yeah, no, his background loud. That's what I was like, can you mute?
What he doing, dude? He probably
Biggs.
don't unmuted, don't know. But
Okay. You good.
I don't know if y'all heard me on that. Did you hear me?
Sorta. Sorta kinda.
So so basically
Sorry.
I'm saying what I was getting to is that like the thing is we talk about culture and I don't even think we really know what we really following anyways. Most of the time when we talk about culture, we just talk about the way we look. Oh, we look the same. That's all we talk about. Some of the ways we don't even follow the same ways. And like I said, I don't believe is no perfect culture. I think the whole thing was, and we always say things like, "Oh, I'm doing this for the ancestors. I'm doing this for that, or whatever." Well, what are we doing, right? I think the whole point is we should since it's a social construct, we should make something better or fix the kinks that was in it, right? But we be following the same things where they was messing up at and not trying to correct anything. So that's what I mean about the corrupted. Like once if it's corruptions in a lot, I believe it's a lot of corruptions in different cultures. Uh, we just choose not to correct it because we just want to live up to what our ancestors gave us or our origination that we got taught, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's like we don't never open our eyes and like, all right, maybe we need to do something different. Or maybe, stuff like that or whatever. So that's what I mean about it. Why we keep living the same or not trying to create something new. You see what I'm saying? Something like that.
Yeah. Are you willing to give up power? Are you willing to surrender power in
What's the
order to
power?
do that? Like I
We
said,
got power?
without yeah, I'm talking within our culture. Are you willing to surrender power? Because from these other platforms, um, women are saying that we try to force our power on them, like we try to rule over top of them. So are you willing to surrender your known authority as a man and just say that me and the woman are even, or she can rule over me in matriarchy? I think it's called matriarch instead of patriarch. Are you willing to do that?
That's corrupted right there. I
I
don't
don't know
think
if
that
that's
ever
the real
worked.
question, man.
Right, I'm confused. Right, that just got me on that one. I don't know. I thought I explained it. I don't
Well,
know.
no, I do, but no, what I know you're saying, but see, we all have to be in agreement, and maybe I should have said first it would work if we were people that are in agreement, but we are not in agreement first to even do that. So, in order to do that, somebody has to give up power, because power has always been the thing that controls anything. It's power, because people with money, and like in politics, I protected a lot of politicians through my career. A lot of wealthy people got money, but they can't do certain things unless they have power. So you need power. Somebody has to have the power when we do this new infrastructure that you're talking about after the agreements.
Yeah,
I think I
I
understand
don't
what he's
think.
saying.
But
Like,
yeah,
I don't. Oh, my bad, host. If you speaking.
yeah. I was just gonna say this real quick. Well, all I was about to say is basically you got a choice to follow culture or not. You don't need no power or anything about that. We just choose to follow a culture that we really don't even really know nothing about, though. So if I okay, I'm gonna put it this way. Because this whole thing is just revolving around culture, right? Because we say we following this or we do things for the culture. I know we saying that in music and stuff now, but what is this that we're following, right? Like we keep speaking on something, but we not truly knowing what we truly following. That's what any culture or the ones we talk about or whatever. But the thing is, the reason why I'm saying this is that if it's a social construct or whatever, like don't we still got the option to either try to start something new? I don't think. Oh, I don't know Okay, actually, if we saying power, then who have the power of the culture that we in now that we choose to follow? Who got that power in that then?
Well, no, actually,
I
we
mean,
do.
okay.
We do. We're just not doing anything with it. We're complaining instead of uniting. We actually have
Yeah,
the
I feel
power
you on
over
that, and
our
that's
culture.
right. I feel you on that.
We actually have the power over our culture, but we're doing a lot of complaining and not enough action working together compared to
Facts.
the Asian culture, compared to the European culture, compared to the Spanish culture, compared to the Indian culture. They still
Mm,
have a society where the majority have a man and a woman in the house, and the men are the heads of the house, but they're
facts.
not bossing their wives around, and they still have the structure of their kids.
Yep.
Genuinely speaking, we are the ones that are broken
I'm
and
The
normally having
corrupted.
a single mind. Yeah, the corrupted
That's what
because
I'm getting to.
we're not working together.
Yep.
I I I think I don't think it's culture that's missing in black culture. I think it's standard that's missing in black culture. But I guess you could say that that's a social construct too inside of the culture itself. So they kind of tie together. But I think what our culture is missing is standard, and because and I think it has a lot to do with scarcity. I think it has a lot to do with scavenging, which is another part of scarcity. I think it has a lot to do with the powers that be dissecting and infiltrating our cultures. Every time something good comes along, they either dissect it, infiltrate it, or offer something that this culture cannot offer it, right? And so what used to happen in our culture is our heroes would stay in our culture, because what was important in our culture was the acceptance from itself. But now what's happening in our culture is the acceptance of itself is no longer important. In fact, what's happened is the acceptance of others is more important than the acceptance of its own. It used to be a time where we didn't have nowhere else to go. That's why Muhammad Ali would run through the streets just like Pacquiao does in his country. Muhammad Ali ran through the streets in this country, right? But now that we have places to go, classism has infiltrated our culture when we don't have a class. We would like to think that Boule is functionally present in our culture, but it ain't. Our Boule is like 1% or less than that. And then our Boule is still lower than the other culture. So we don't even like our caste or class system is so far and few. It's ridiculous. We don't even like the black culture barely has a middle class, and the upper class is not a class at all. It's just sort of an acceptable place to parade until they snatch you off the pedestal. So I don't know. I think we don't have a standard, man. Like if we created laws that simply says things like this, like I don't know if you ever seen the movie I, Robot, right? In I, Robot, they had these impeccable laws that were perfect, right? If we created laws like that, then our culture would evolve. It would evolve naturally without anything. Like if we said, okay, anybody who receives a certain status, whether it be economically or socially or whatever, has to contribute 10% of that minimum back to where they came from. That would change so many things. Like
I want to
if that
challenge
had
that,
to
my
happen.
brother. I want to challenge that. Let me
Yeah,
tell
go
you
ahead.
why I disagree. Because we're not doing anything with the little bit that we have.
Mm.
See, if we were working with each other in the community and letting the money circulate within our culture, things would be different. Just because you give one thing I learned, just because you give people that don't have money, if they don't know how to use the money, they're going to lose it. They're going to lose it anyway. So it's really
No,
not a.
no. I'm not just saying money. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about filters in which to graduate the next generation. Like the W.E.B. Du Bois ideology should have been implemented, but it should have been implemented way back. But it is barely being implemented now. That ideology is being implemented now. That's why we have so many new black geniuses, right? We have so many new black geniuses, and our culture does not celebrate these geniuses on a large scale. We don't put we put posters of Michael Jordan up, right? But we don't put posters of the little boy and the little girl who just graduated high school at the age of 6 or 12 and are going to Harvard. We don't put those on our social medias.
Well,
Those aren't
that's our
shared.
fault.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the things that, like, okay, because I come from a black excellent Chicago. Okay. And when I say black excellent Chicago, I mean we celebrated, when I was coming up, we celebrated everything that was black excellent. Everything. It was part of the school that I went to like the school I went to on the west side taught us so much. Like black history was part of like the after school programs. Like I was part of that lunch program and those the last of the Panthers and all of that stuff. Like we got so much put in us. Like our esteem became so high about who we were, where we came from, and all this. Like you can't take me, like to this day you can't take me down. So it's like that kind of stuff. These systems, these implemented things are not part of our culture. That's where the 10% should go. It's like okay, any kid who's scoring high in these subjects, they now get grants and whatever to go to this and that. You know, these kids that are doing so well in these subjects, they now are automatically enrolled in STEM programs that evolve, that make them young scientists and whatever. These kids that are physically, that whatever, they don't just get basketball scholarships. No, they're physically fit. They're physically opt or whatever. Now these guys are gonna, since they're so good with their bodies in their hands, they're gonna now learn to be in, you know, like to work, like to be part of the labor force or something to that effect. Like they're gonna learn other skills like plumbing and electricity and being line haulers, and they're gonna have other options once their jumping skills and their basketball skills go to whatever. Like these things, like I promise you, like my fraternity, real quick, right? And I gotta actually jam in a minute, but my fraternity went to a school. This was part of our community service, right? My fraternity went to a school, and when we went to that school, all of the brothers had on black hoodies, and under their black hoodies and under their black sweatsuits or whatever, they had their real job uniforms. Now, on the outside of these black hoodies, they had on gold chains, and they wore gold rings, and they all had aluminum foil in their mouths. It looked like they had silver and gold teeth, right? And they said, "What do you guys think that these guys are?" And they was like, "Well, they look like rappers." And they said, "We're going to take off one of these things at a time." They took out their teeth, right? Took out the little aluminum foil. Now, what do you think they are? Well, this and that. And they said, "Okay, now I want you to know that all their chains, all their gold, all their jewelry is actually theirs. It's actually theirs, you know? So now what do you think they are?" And they was like, "Well, they still got to be singers or rappers or basketball players." The guy takes off his sweatshirt and he's a plumber. Other guy takes off his sweatshirt and he's a HVAC guy. He does heat and air conditioning all downtown. Another guy takes off his sweaty, hoodie, and he's a truck driver. He has a fleet of his own. And yes, they all have Ferraris and Corvettes and all of these things. And you can have these things from being these skilled trades. You don't have to be a ball player. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? And it changed these kids' lives. They were asking questions, and they saw another way of seeing it. Another guy was a black diver who was a SEAL diver. You know what I'm saying? For the for the Navy or whatever. And these kids are looking like, "What? You can be this? Yeah, you can be this." But that's
Yeah,
not what, like our culture needs to do that.
yeah, but exactly. But and they also need to see it within the community. See, they had to go somewhere and experience that. But if men, most of the time, most of us black men, what we do, we go to work, we work, and sometimes a lot of guys work overtime and stuff like that, to provide, and then they come home and then they rest in the house. And then they go back out the door again, and then we go back to work. See, those things need to be in the community. Men, a lot of black men need to start coming together and doing and giving back to the youth and being involved in their life as a collectively, as a community, so those young men can see that. They know we go. The ones that work, they see the men go to work, but they don't see them at work. That's why we have to be involved in their lives, and us being able to unite as black men in the community. The women have been doing the work for a very, very, very long time. We have to be physically involved and physically there.
Mm. Go ahead, AJ. I know you've been trying to say something for a long.
I don't know, you guys are good. What's up, everybody?
What's
Um,
it?
so no, I was just gonna answer the questions. But if y'all still wanna keep going, we can keep going. Um, no, I definitely agree with Eric for sure, though. It is about community at the end of the day. And I think that's the biggest issue. I don't know why everybody's always talking about ancestors. Ancestors have already come and gone. What about
Right.
your future generations, right?
Exactly.
Your future generations, that's what we need to be focused on. So yeah, 100% agree with Eric. So kudos, bro. But to answer the first one, do I believe other cultures like tear us down more than others? Again, I don't think I don't think it's the culture itself, it's the individual, right? An individual, that's an individual thing. It's not a culture per se. They may be part of a culture, but that's not what the culture is. What's the point of staying with the same culture? So the way I answered number two, was more or less just from my own experiences dealing with people. Um, because I do have a different cultural background than a lot of other black folks here. Um, what I see a lot of the time is it's usually the ones who don't want to change nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the ones that want to complain about everything, but they don't want to change nothing. You can give them all, give them all the advice in the world, they don't do nothing. They come up with every reason why that's not gonna work. And to me, I chalk it up to being lazy at the end of the day. If you want change, you actually have to get up off your ass and do something and don't fall out the sky. I don't know where this entitlement shit came from, but it's obnoxious.
Boy.
You can't do that. You can't. Um, you know what I mean? And that's across the board, right? Across the board. Like y'all can't just be sitting here complaining, "Oh, well, I want things to change. I want things to change." Yeah, you can try to tell another person how to change, but you also have to understand what are you doing to contribute to that person's behavior, right? The prime argument that I see on here, especially amongst our community, is it's men versus women conversations. And every single time I always chalk it up. What are you doing to contribute? Right? If you're going after the same types of dudes, if you're going after the same type of women, right? Birds of a feather flock together. That's the thing. Like I can guarantee you, you're not gonna find a nice girl in the club. You're not gonna find a nice dude in the club. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. You're not gonna find that, right? If you're looking for somebody who's gonna be a part of the community, somebody who's looking more towards the future, things like that. A lot of the time, those are gonna be places where, guess what? The church. You're gonna have to go to churches. You're gonna have to go to things that are within your community. Volunteer, do these types of things. That's where those people are. I guarantee it. The second one, I don't quite understand. So, can you observe? Can you elaborate on the third one, Kev?
Mm. Why
Because I feel
don't
like
we look?
the
Why don't
second,
we look? Huh?
oh, it just seems like it's part of the second one, but I just wanted you
Uh,
to clarify it.
so yeah. Why don't we look, observe, and ask other cultures for help? That's So basically, I heard a lot that we got to focus on our culture or focus on ourselves first, but then again, we don't take tips or we don't take uh or we don't try to be observant of how other things work in different cultures to even just take it with ourselves and maybe it'll help us. D Dub, what's the deal? Stuff like that. So I don't want to
Okay, okay. So for that one, I think for me, it's ego. People's egos
facts.
get in
You
the
said
way,
it.
right? That's anything in life, right? Whether it's culture, whether it's personal development, right? How many people
Hmm.
sit around and oh man, I just want to lose weight, for example, right? That's the biggest topic right now. Oh, I just want to lose weight. But you don't want to stop eating fast food. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to do anything, right? Your ego's in the way. Number one. And number two,
What's the
like
deal,
there's certain
Rashad?
things. right? That are just, they're going to happen, right? If you play a stupid game, you're always going to win a stupid prize. I don't know why
Right.
people think that they're going to be the exception to that rule. Oh, I can do stupid stuff, but I'm going to end up with $1 million. That doesn't make sense. The math ain't math in there, right? So when it comes to that, I'm going to chalk it up to ego, 100%. There's ego, your pride. You don't know how to, and that's the thing. You're not going to know how to listen with your ego in a way. You got to get rid of your ego if you want to gain momentum in life. That's just facts. Just the facts of life. But again, like I said, I chalk pretty much a lot of, if I were to sum all this up, I'm gonna chalk it up to ego, or ego, of course. I'm gonna chalk it up to, ignorance, right? People hear one thing and they don't necessarily want to go fully understand it. It just seems like it's too much work. And absolutely, number one, laziness. It's the laziness of it. Get up
Mm.
and start changing it, right? Like, I don't know why we think that things are just gonna fall out of the sky and this, that, and the third. Like, it's not how any of this works. And yeah, I understand. Like, yeah, it's good to break the. I don't like to call them generational curses. I like to call them
Habit.
generational cycles, right? Habit, generational cycle. If break the cycle, you have that option, but it doesn't have to be your only mission in life,
Right.
right? Because you could be breaking those cycles, but what are you setting up the next generation for?
Mm-hmm.
That's always been my question. Okay, well, what are you setting it up for? So we stopped doing this, but what did we put there instead that's going to benefit, right? You can't just keep taking stuff because then you have nothing. You got to put stuff in, right? And doing the bare minimum, right? Like, oh, I'm breaking generational cycles. That's floor level. You should already be doing that.
Right.
We should have been doing that. Been. But no, instead we want to sit here and complain, oh, well, I want a cookie because I'm breaking generational cycles. Okay, cool. Cool, but you ain't learning nothing from nobody else. People have tried to come in and try to share their things, right? I've come in many times on not just, or not necessarily in here in this room, but in other rooms trying to share aspects of culture and correcting people on what they think things are, and they still want to argue with me. The amount of people on this app that argue with me daily about matriarchy. I was raised in matriarchy. I can tell you exactly what this is. So yes, to you women who are on this I hate men franchise, that's not what matriarchy is. It's not sitting there saying you get to make all the rules. You have to understand that as a woman yourself, none of your decisions are yours at that point because you have to represent your husband, your kids, your family, and your community. That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody,
Isn't
right?
that's ain't that a
That's what
lot that's going
matriarchy
on
is.
now though? There's a lot of
What?
I think most of the people is getting raised by their mothers and stuff. So ain't that like?
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
we living like in a
It's one
matriarchy?
thing. Nuh-uh.
Well,
Matriarchy. So
especially the
here's the
black
thing.
family.
So here's the thing, right? A lot of people also misconstrue the biggest part of matriarchy is they think that men are useless in matriarchy. Men, when you grow up in a matriarchal family or an upbringing, men
Woman
are
in the
very
household.
important. No, not necessarily. No, it's not
I
women in the
already had
household.
looked it
They're
up. I
both part
think
of it.
matriarchy is man in the household. Patriarchy is
Kev,
man
I
in the
grew up
household.
in this, bro.
Huh? No,
I
I'm just
come
saying.
from it.
I'm just saying what the
Yeah,
meaning of matriarchy and patriarchy is. I think it's just the opposite.
they're
They opposite of each other.
they're not. No, they're
Where
not.
man is the head and woman's the head. That's what that
Mm-mm.
is.
No, no, no. So for patriarchy, right? You could say, okay, yeah, men are head of household. In matriarchy, you're both head household. You just have different responsibilities, right? So the reason why we say, yes, men are very important in a matriarchal society, because again, if not all the pressure is on him, so he's not the one that has to go get the job and pay all the bills, right? If she's better at doing that and he's better with the kids, then you do that. If it's vice versa, you do that. There's no like, oh, well, I have more power because I'm making the money. You're a team at that point. Does that make sense? Right? And then what you do for your community is also in there, right? But again, you have to make decisions that are going to benefit you as a team, right? As a female. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's going to be certain things that are passed down directly through your line, just through women, and then there's things that are passed down just through men. So that's just where it's at. And then the way we handle arguments, the way we handle each other is very different, but it's still on the same respect level. It's not one over the other. The only reason why the only thing that matriarchy has is that you, instead of like, if you get married, right? Like if I were to get married to a man, he would take my last name. The kids would take my last name, right? That doesn't mean that he's lost forever. My sons may be named after his side. My daughters may be named after the women in his family. You see what I'm saying? You're blending these two things together. So they're very much important. And I don't know why so many people are running around on this app talking about matriarchy is patriarchy in reverse. Nobody is head of anything. There's nobody's head. They're not really. Not really. I mean, yes, women
That
kind
sounds like a
of, but
very
they just play
subjective thing now, from what I'm hearing.
different things. I mean, you could
Cause
take it as
do you think
subjective,
your
but
way
I
of
live there.
matriarchy is the same way it's going now for everybody else?
What do you mean matriarchy as far as what? Because how many other matriarchal societies do I
Cause
see
I know
in
you
the
said
United
you
States?
grew up, huh?
I haven't seen any matriarchal societies within the United States unless they're native. The Native Americans, other than that, I don't see them.
Well, I think, cause, well,
It's not
I
just being
think
raised by your
nowadays
mom.
that's like the average thing that's going on nowadays. Because a lot of times the father not even in the homes nowadays. So most of the time the household is getting
Okay, so then let me
held
ask you
by the
this:
mother most of the time.
if I was in a matriarchal marriage and my husband were to die, excuse me, unalive, right? I would still be a single mom in that regard, right?
The what?
I said, if say we were all living in matriarchy, and say I was married and my husband he got unalived, right? I'm still a single parent. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's matriarchy. That just means that yes, you're just being raised by your mom. Now, say I got married and I was the one that got unalived. He's still a single parent. He's got to take care of the kids.
Yeah, I think it's not about the underlying. It's just about I guess the. Let me look at it again. I'm gonna read it one more time so we can be on the same thing. Cause
We can be on the same
I
thing.
just like going off what it is, not what the like the. I'm not going off the experiences. I just rather go off what it is, so everybody be on the same.
But
Knowledge.
that's the thing that I'm talking about, though, right? If we're talking about, okay, well, why can't we observe or get tips or help from other people? That's how you get the help. And I could sit there, you could read the definitions and stuff. You can read that all day, but you're not going to fully understand it unless you live it.
But everybody
That's how these
experience
things
different
work.
though. We can't say that my way of patriarchy is the same way as everybody else's patriarchy, or I can't say my way of matriarchy. I wouldn't be able to say that because that wouldn't be accurate. 'Cause so that's just like, I don't know. Just like everybody got their own definition of red pill and blue pill and stuff, but it's only like it's a solid
Only
I
here
guess
do
a
y'all have
solid
that.
definition. Huh?
I was like, only here in the U.S. do y'all have that. Everywhere else, like, it's not. Things aren't talked about into a depth like this. It's just it's very surface when it comes to this patriarchy, matriarchy. Is just what we got to do. It's not in depth like, oh, who's gonna have power today and who's not. It has nothing to do with power.
So all right. I
Nothing.
think it's a system of
It's everything
society.
else.
That's the patriarchy
Yeah.
is the system of society or government in which the father or eldest male is head of the family and descent is traced through the male line. A system of the society government in which men hold the power and the women are largely excluded from it. A society or community organized are patriarchal lines. All right, and then matriarchy.
Coming from someone that is from a different country, because AJ, I heard you say that in other countries that is not a thing, but patriarchy is a
I didn't.
huge thing in other countries.
I didn't say patriarchy isn't a thing. I was talking matriarchy as far as not in other countries. I was talking about here in America. I don't see
Okay.
that often unless it's natives. That's the
Okay,
only
So
I
time
was
I've
gonna say
actually
because
seen it.
I know.
Yeah, no, there's tons of matriarchal societies all over the world. Trust me, I know that.
Yeah.
We all
so a
kind of function the
system.
same. We function relatively the same overall.
Uh, okay.
The only thing that
Okay.
changes is like the actual culture in and within itself. Like those may have different changes, and that's interchangeable. But yeah, for the most part, the foundation is the same. It's the same skeleton. Everything else is just the meat and
Typically, when
bones.
it comes to
Patriarch.
like male, female, the male is
For patriarchy,
yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Men are the
Patriarch.
ones that are what is it? In charge in patriarchy.
Yeah, I
right.
think
Yeah.
overall, like worldwide, it's always been patriarchy because it's just always that's how it's been. That's how
It, no,
wars and all that stuff,
it's
like, 'cause it would have to be the man to take over. That's the only reason why matriarch probably exists, because
it does
patriarchy.
exist. It does exist in many places around the world,
No, I'm just saying
many
it only
places.
probably exists because of that, because it wouldn't be no matriarch unless patriarchy probably allowed it. I mean,
No,
it only makes sense. Because
no, they were matriarchal and have been matriarchal. My people have been matriarchal for the last 3,000 years since we got to those islands. So since the beginning, we've been matriarchal. It has nothing to do with patriarchy.
that probably would
It's
have
just the
got
way it
ran
is.
over quick if it was a war. It probably wouldn't last too
Why?
long. Because
Why?
the most of the wars are men against men. It don't be.
It's not reversed where women are going out there to fight. You still have your responsibilities. Of course, men are designed for that, right? Men are going to be better at doing, being soldiers and doing those things. Obviously, it's the same thing across the board. It doesn't just become women that just all of a sudden do it because it's matriarchal. That's not how that works. That's not how that
So
works at all.
look, so basically, it's like a government and society thing. It ain't just based off of
It's a
how. Because I was
government.
about to say
Yes.
matriarchy. I was gonna say based off because women was get been single mothers. So that ain't the same thing. So it's a system. So it's a system in society. So with matriarchy, now say a system or society, government ruled by women or ruled by a woman or women, a form of social organization in which decent and relationships are reckoned through the female line. So it's
Hmm.
in the state of being older, powerful woman in a family group.
Yes, you have every family has their matriarch, which is usually an older woman until she passes and then it gets moved down. But again, it's not, like I said, it's not, oh, well, it's just a
So
woman,
the social system.
all women that are in that society making decisions. Does that make sense? So it's not just like, oh, well, just because I'm a woman, I can make all the decisions for all my brothers and all the males in my family. Like that's not how that works.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? I have a responsibility to them, which is way different. But again, none of my decisions, because you're raised that way, they're not, you have to understand the consequences to the things that you do, right? And how they affect everybody else around you, right? So if I'm sitting there, right, let's take present times, right? Say all of us are out, we're at a bar, right?
Oh, you said.
Say we're out. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was looking at what because Jen was trying to get. So it said I wanted.
Oh, yeah, I think she wanted you to elaborate what you were thinking about the whole women going to war thing. I thought it was
Uh.
cute, a little cute.
No, I was
I
just
was
saying
like,
because like even now, right? The feminists and all that, everything like I think
toxic
everything
feminists gonna
started
put me
off
on a
with.
whole other rant.
I know I ain't trying to go there. I'm just saying, but a lot of that stuff only got allowed because it was through men first. It just I think that's how the world just kind of started, anyways. Because if because I think somebody even gave a good example before, right? How we know women only have power because men. I guess, and it sounds harsh though, but it's the harsh truth though. Because only men, because men allow women to have power. That's the only, I mean, that's just the truth behind it. Because
Okay.
the reason why I said, cause somebody had also said this too, right? If it wasn't for laws and stuff, and if men was the like he said, if so, I think what was that? Somebody said if they threw like a gas in the air or something like that, where it made all men go just berserk and don't care or something like that, that basically, and it wasn't for laws, it's like they will I guess they would kind of take over the world. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I think I said it wrong though. But basically, like, only reason why women nowadays just have power is because either the man made that vote or something like because it's the man always been fighting against men. There's power against power or something like that. Whoever the strongest is the strongest, and whoever get it, it's just always been like that though. But now we at a time where we're trying to fight for equality, even though equality ain't gonna that stuff never work. But
It's
So
so
Kev, there women, well, not all women, majority of women are manipulative.
manipulative. Yeah.
Yes. So
Especially here. Oh my God.
yes, so you were talking about like how it probably had to have been a man to make women have more charge of things or able to do things, right? But it only can take one woman to manipulate a man.
yeah,
Okay?
I get that.
to
Troy.
make him believe her views are correct, and then he will spew that like
Right.
word and say, "Hey, look, this is right. This is what it is. We need to change this law or whatever the rule is with this
Yeah.
woman." And then other men will start to say, "You know what? My wife feels the same way."
Yeah.
So there it branches out. But women
Yeah.
usually can get through to a man's brain.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking
Yes.
about at the
So,
time. That's what I'm saying. I'm going back to the original. At the time where women couldn't even speak. You see what I'm saying? It
so
was
men
really
can.
that time. It was
You
a
mean
time
before
back then
humans can
where,
speak, or what?
like, huh?
You talking about before humans can speak?
No, it was a time where, like, they had that stuff is true about the women. Where they had it like where what they say to speak and not be heard. I forgot how that go, but that junk was real because
Where?
it's like men was leading so much, right? To where the woman had to just follow. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like it was really a survival type thing. So it wasn't no time for somebody to get manipulated or anything at that time because it was just like that. Like when it come to power and trying to take over lands and all this stuff, it was like it really wasn't no time to sit here and be like, okay, let's be equal right now. Let's see, it just wasn't that time. But now, like especially like now we in America, of course everybody can
Hold
speak
on.
up. Now we can talk as freedom and all type of stuff or whatever. But back then it just wasn't like that. It really was just
So, hold up. When I'm sitting there talking about matriarchy and the equality of it, right? I'm not talking about you're equal and you have to make the decisions at the same time. You have different responsibilities that you're focused on, right? So me as a woman, I have different responsibilities that my brother. My brother has different responsibilities, things that he has to focus on. That's any male. If I were married, same thing. It's equal in that sense. It's not equal necessarily that, oh, well, okay, you can pick up this tree trunk. I should be able to pick up this tree trunk. It's not like that, right? Yes, men are stronger, right? When it comes to that, you have more physical strength, upper body strength than I do, right? Majority of my power and my muscles is going to be in my legs because of childbirth. That's normal, right? But again, we could talk about that, but we could also talk about how many times in history. I'll give a prime example. Troy, okay? The Battle of Troy. Why did that all start? That all started because of the wife of the Spartan wife, Helena. That whole war and destroyed a whole society over one woman. She didn't say anything.
yeah.
She just ran
I
away.
get you on that, but the woman wasn't fighting though. I get it
But
on that though,
women don't
because
need
the
to.
thing is they
But
had to
why do
protect the
women need to
woman because
fight
she the
though?
one to carry the kids, so that's why they like women
But
wasn't
why
fighting back then
why
like that.
why why do women have to? But why do women have to? Is my question. That doesn't mean that you're more powerful just because you can fight or not. That's
Well,
not what
I
that
don't think that was
is.
ever my point though, but whatever. I don't know. I'm just getting
I'm
somewhere with
trying to.
that. Like a
I'm
lot
just
of that
trying to
stuff when it
understand
went
what we're
down,
talking. I'm just trying to understand. That's all.
that I didn't think it was that hard. I really didn't think it was that hard. I don't know, whatever. But I guess we all seen Earth from different angles. I guess I don't know.
I get you,
But
bro.
I
I
guess
don't know.
my parents made it clear to us. Right. That's why I thought it was like that. Be seen, not heard. Because I felt like man had a job on this earth and women had a job on this earth. We were built different ways too for a reason. But I don't know.
But I
I
feel
don't know.
like there
Can you guys
everyone is
hear me?
different. Everyone is different, Kev. Like every woman is
Hello?
different in my
We hear you. We
opinion.
hear you.
Mentally, they're different. Because
Very
like me
different.
personally, I don't care when it comes to like my husband working or like let's just say if we were to get in a sticky situation where I had where he or I had to defend ourselves, I am a very protective person as you know like when I first spoke with you how my culture is. So
Mm.
even though he would probably want to defend us, I wouldn't allow it. Like I know myself, I would not allow it because I'm a protector and I defend my husband, regardless if he's stronger than me, I'm going to be at it before he would be. A lot of women, a lot of people are different. It just really depends on
Yeah,
your
they different
upbringing.
now, right? We not
It
talking,
depends
but
on your
back in the day, it was nobody had that mentality. Like really, women wasn't fighting like that. They're not as I don't want to say that word, but they,
yes, masculine,
women are more
right?
masculine now, right?
Just say what you want to say. It's okay. It's
Yeah, it's like, come
I
okay.
on,
mean,
Kev.
they are though, but because back then they used to, like I said, they was clinging on to the strongest man they can get to, because it was just like that. But now it's just we in a world where Both of them child protectors now. So it's just I don't know, but it's just that's just how it is now. And I can understand that. But when I be talking about certain things, it's just like I be thinking about what kind of could make sense from back in the day or whatever, just based off our built and and how and I can just I mean I don't know. To me, some of that stuff just makes sense. It might not make sense to everybody, but I
You
don't know.
know, there is a big difference. It's like, I don't know, maybe I just notice myself, but society evolve, right? So what I see with a lot of people, they fight evolution within themselves and they want to be stuck in old ways, right? And and that's where I see the struggle for the most, that we have the problem in society. Like the way that people have the perception of, it's like when I hear women are conniving, I always step back. Although in some example, they are reality, but for the most, from generation to another, talking about women, what I observe that my mother really, in her insanity and chaos, she tried to give me more than she had, and she did step out of her culture to give us better. Because if we look back, every culture that back, it's like, I think it was in the 70s when there was the revolution and the feminists and this and that. It was just a way to put the voice out, is like, we matter also. Because if we look back in history, even in this country, wife that they didn't get along with the husband, they will be, and were outspoken, they will be hardly punished, you know? So thankfully, now we live in a society where we do have a voice. The point is that there is an imbalance and we need to find a balance. And how we do that is when we start talking and sitting and listen to each other. But that's my humble opinion. That's all.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hey, I just wanted to ask a question. Um, does anyone here have school-aged children?
Yes.
Uh, I just wanted to know, and it kind of goes with the topic. What 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 are they teaching the children in history classes? Like state history, American history. What are they teaching as far as our history? I know when I went, for Black history, it was Harriet Tubman. The ones that we all know about.
Yeah, pretty
I
much. I
want
mean,
to
like,
I want to know if the books have changed. The curriculum, has it changed any?
no, not really, because that's what my boys came home talking about to me. Was like Martin Luther King, and they had like, a coloring paper that they had a color, and but realistically, it's like the same as when we were younger.
Okay, so it's still the same topics of Black Americans in their struggle in history. I asked that because I talk to people here in Atlanta, and I'm from Texas, and as mothers, um, I think that, and it goes with men too. I think we should push harder, and I know people have, before me saying this, but to push harder for history books to show people of color not coming out of a struggle, but imagine if you will, imagine if you will, if 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, the impressionable years of all children in a classroom, imagine if the history books taught about people of color, the scientists that created things, the doctors, not of struggle. right? Not of
Yes,
the
girl.
history.
Yes.
If our books, so if imagine a classroom of 30 students and it's a diverse class, and we started at an impressionable time for children to learn one another and their cultures, how it would change racism in America moving forward. Because see, if little Timmy could look at Tyrone and say, "Man, you're smart. You could be like that doctor in history." Imagine if children got together and changed, they could change America. They could change what we all know. We may not be alive to see that, but I think, it's been on my heart since we started this. I think that it starts at home, obviously. Everyone says that. It starts at home. But what if the home is corrupt? So if they go to
Facts.
school,
Mm-hmm.
if they
You
go to
there are
school, in
search.
our books, for everybody are all the same across the board. And every culture recognizes people not in struggle, not in war, but just common folks. If little kids can learn that Timmy can be this and Tyrone, and Keisha can be this, imagine how they can see each other. Just imagine that for a minute.
Like I literally love that like so much because that is a beautiful thing because like when it comes to me in the medical field because I am in the medical field there are African American doctors and dentists and that is a great thing to show little kids that are learning about what their skin color even is because kids don't understand really what they are. They don't even understand what they are, right? Unless we are educating them as children. And you're right when it comes to like the house. Some homes are horrible where they're teaching their kids horrible things, right? Or whatever their
Right.
home lifestyle would be like. So that is a really good thing. You should probably be in a school district so that can be a voice to be heard to say that should change within the school
Not
districts.
changing. Yeah, it's not changing history, right? But it's
Right, it's
changing
adding.
how we have kids look at their history.
Mm.
Like
Right, for
the
like Black History Month,
possibilities,
right?
their possibilities. So you have a child that's in a corrupt home, mom and dad are fighting or whatever the case may be. Their escape is school. So imagine if schools were feeding them and enlightening. What they see at home is contradicting what the books are telling them, right? So if you have a child that's in a corrupt home and it's downtrodden and in poverty, and then all they learn is history that identifies them coming from struggle, doesn't that feel isn't that a feeling of defeat?
Right.
Gen Z, can I ask you something? Because I've
Yes.
been having this process, right? It's like when you imagine the song of John Lennon, right? And it's pretty much, if you listen to the word, it say the same thing. I had that process, right? And guess what? I went a little farther and I said, if we have healed people in this country, right? If we show to children that their history, it's beautiful, that they do come from beautiful, people. What does it do? It gives self-esteem, right? A person with self-esteem and self-love and self-worth, it's not a sucker in this society. They have power, right? So things like alcohol consumption, overdosing, a lack of, self-esteem, so self-destruction, those are generate a lot of money in this society. So understand that when you start to have those kind of conversation, you will have a lot of, backlashes. So those are the question, how we fight that, how we fight the suppressor, because Those are the conversation that we need to have, you know. But that's the other part. Is like you don't have just the job of teaching the new generation. You have the job to fighting those entities that they come all over the place. They will infiltrate. You know, we had like look at the Black Panther, what they were trying to do and how they were stopped. So that's what we have to think when we want change. How we fight back on those. That's the thing that I was trying to say.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. I don't know. I just think, like Kev knows, I go into all different types of platforms and I listen to people, but I'm always listening for solutions. I'm always waiting, like, people can talk and talk and talk, and, and it helps. I mean, it helps people to a degree, but then it kind of just stops there, like,
Well, Gen Z, like you were just saying,
I oh, I'm
what
sorry.
was
Go
that?
ahead. Go ahead.
Um, I think not only is it teaching Timmy, but it's teaching the other child too, the same thing. Like it's teaching both of the kids because like you were saying, sometimes either one of the kids have it hard at home, but if they're coming to school and they're being taught like it doesn't matter if you're white, it doesn't matter if you're black, you can succeed in life. Like that, like the
And
positive.
you're right. And your history, and if all the kids are reading the history about each other, and they're all successful in history, right? Right. Doctors, creators, whatever it is, that's great, right? Those kids will start looking at each other a little bit more equally, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like telling a
So why?
kid,
So my question is why? Why? I'm just a regular lady. So you mean to tell me the educators and politicians haven't come up with that?
mhm,
As far as solutions, I mean,
it's all about
to me,
division, and
it's
that's
pretty
the horrible
basic.
thing.
How do you change? How do you change how this country is going forward? How do you change it? I think it. I think it really has to do with the children at an impressionable age, where
Right.
they're getting brainwashed with crap right now.
Right.
Right. And like so when it's Black History Month, like to have a day, right? Because there's 30 to 31 days or 28 whatever, how many days in a month, you can literally teach like one day. I don't know what the chef's name is, but this I seriously don't know what the name is, what his name was, but he made peanut butter, right?
Hmm.
And he was an African American, and you can put that like this is so and so, this is how he created peanut butter, and this is how we love peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? Like there are so many things like that, like the mail. I think it's the mailbox too. There are so many inventions made by African Americans that we can teach in Black History Month
But it,
because they
but
are inventors.
I guess I want to make it more solid. I want it printed for year round. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
want it
yes.
printed year round, that one semester everyone's learning about each other's history, the real history
Right.
from beginning of time until now, not just the time of struggle, right? Because
Hmm.
that in itself, if you have any type of compassion, I don't care who you are, if you have any kind of compassion, it makes you feel dead inside,
Right.
considering what this country went through, what was put on human beings. And I don't care who you are, if you have any ounce of compassion, it makes you feel like crap, right? I'm not going to say the S word, but if our history book started also teaching the grand things since the beginning of time, And then they took that baton and kept going forward in our future. This is what your possibilities are. You are great. You are great.
Absolutely. It
Kids will grow up with that idea and not make fun and not chastise somebody else for the texture of hair or their skin color or anything. They would be like, hey, you got possibilities. That's how they're going to start looking at each other.
Right. I think
yes.
we mess up by making this segregation thing, man.
Yes.
That was the only time I actually agreed with what's her name? Stacey Dash, I think. Otherwise, she'd be on some BS. But I'm just saying, on that one time when she was talking about that segregation thing, and I had noticed, I'm like, why do we do that? Because, like, if we want equality, we want to be treated the same and all this stuff. But yeah, we keep separating ourselves, I guess, from America, right? I feel like history, instead of it just being called Black History, why not just put it all in the history book so we can just teach it all around? All, I mean, just in history, you know what I'm saying? It's part of history instead of separated. Well, I got to let you know this is YT, this is YT history and this is Black history. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like, why do we gotta get? I don't understand why that, but then again, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just like how we separate everything. I don't know. It's like
I
it's
swear that
competition
is
after that, and I think
part of
they
the
teach the wrong
agenda.
parts too. And that's why,
Because it's
huh?
brainwashing.
Yeah,
It's a
Mm-hmm.
brainwashing. It's still consistently whitewashing everybody.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know. I'm gonna chill out for a second,
No, no,
because it
no,
does
no.
mean a
Like,
lot to me.
no, no, no. I see what you're saying because, um, I completely see what you're saying when it comes to that because it's almost like an agenda. It's a plan. It's already a written plan to make people believe that it is a certain way. Like when the young man that was talking, I forgot his name, Mark. Or no, it was the other guy, the trucker guy. He was saying that when people had these hoodies or whatever on, they were talking about. Thank you, birthday. They were talking about they had hoodies, they had chains, they had grills in their mouth, and then they started taking them off. And little did they know that what was inside, it was like he was a dump truck worker. The other one was like an electrician. And people, though, when they looked at him, they immediately thought that it was a basketball player or it was
right.
a rapper, because that's what
Yeah,
society
portrayed.
was
Yep.
labeling people. Like it's all literally it's an agenda. That's why Gen Z, you are 100% accurate when it comes to having that type of knowledge in schools, like elementary schools, okay? Teaching these kids and putting that knowledge into their brain, saying, nobody's any different than you are just because your skin color is this way. Like just because somebody's lighter or darker than you, that person can be a freaking lawyer or a doctor or an electrician, and provide all these other things. Like it does not justify it because they are of a different skin color. It does
Yeah.
have to start in the little kids,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
little kids.
Hey,
Children
y'all,
shouldn't.
real quick.
The children don't realize it, but they're being taught to be elite, right? And then
Mm,
and then those same children who are being taught to be elite are taught to be superior. That's my angle. That's what needs to change for children.
Yes,
right.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not denying what you're saying at all. Like that is a problem and it needs to change because I hate that ideology where it's making it seem like someone's better than you when they're not.
Right.
Like any child can have, just because a child is brown does not mean they are less smart than a light colored child. You know what I mean? They
Right.
can be way smarter, but when you look at society, because they're trying to brainwash people into believing that somebody's less than because of their skin color. That is the agenda that I hate and I want to break, because I don't want my
You're right.
sons or my daughter looking at that like a child for any other reason other than that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right. See,
Hey,
our history books, if I can recall correctly, Ulysses S. Grant, he was a grand guy because he led his men to battle. Well, why don't our history books talk about Colin Powell? You know who
mm,
Colin Powell is, right?
who that?
General. The one of the two generals that led our troops, in the Gulf War.
Mm,
Powerful.
mm,
Colin Powell. He's a great military leader. Why aren't the books talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. That's the contrast difference that all children need to see that.
Exactly. That's what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying. It's like it's
The
an
the, the
agenda.
great the great men and women, men and women in history, all across the board.
Hey, before y'all go too far, real quick, um, let me I don't know if I don't know people that's in the chat. I don't know who in here, man. If y'all follow me real quick, I'm about to just reset real quick. It's gonna be about 1 second
I
or
thought
two
you was
seconds.
gonna say you were gonna fall asleep.
Nah, I'm about to reset real quick.
Okay.
Because I want to save this section too, and I just want to get the room back. But
Okay.
give me a second, y'all. I'll be right. Give me literally like 1 sec. I don't know.
Okay.
Just count to 20. All right.